Warning. It is the opinion of the Forestry Productions LLC and the Working Perspectives podcast that we should inform you that some of the language used in this recording could possibly be considered offensive. You have been warned, so if you decide to listen to the recording, then don't complain about the language. Hi, hello, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to talk to some real people about some real things, living real lives, doing real stuff. This is the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied today by jdub, Justin Richardson, the bad boy Bern Podcasy, and our special guest today is one and only Biff Sweater, Tim Casey. You can find all our stuff and all our content on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can have us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast, and you can join us on the Twitter and the TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workperspectives@gmail.com. And please like and subscribe so that my wife doesn't divorce me for doing this show. Benoit Pahoo, say, how we doing, my man?
Doing great, man. Really excited for tonight. I know a little bit about this dude, so I'm excited to get into it.
Samesies, we got a little 40-40 action on the show. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah. Jdub, you still whacking it in the sink?
Yeah, my dog started barking with how loud you just said Podcasy.
Hey, well, I mean, you know.
Yeah, always jerk off in your sink. It's professional.
All right, good for you.
You'll all get there one day.
Yeah, maybe one day. Well, this is the Work Perspectives podcast. Let's get this thing started. Let's go.
It's our objective to be effective by voicing societies. Working perspective, exploring your day and how you get paid. Launching a new episode every Tuesday. Your day can transform while we inform with new episodes available on every platform. So check out our vibe and how we get live. Then do us a solid. Share and subscribe. We're just sharing. We're just sharing. We're just sharing. Working perspectives.
All right. Benoit Pahoo. Say, please take it away.
Well, let me tell you a little something about the man here, Biff Sweater. He wears a lot of hats.
Sure.
I mean, he's usually wearing hats. But if I had to describe Biff in a couple of words, I would say he's a brother, he's an uncle, he's a lover, he's a fighter, he's an occasional mediator, he's a frisbee golf pioneer. He's a wrestler. He's a coach. He's a handyman. He's a dog father. He's a cat mother. He's a common law husband. Wow. He's an amateur sweater model.
Sure.
A heck of a roommate.
Yeah.
A bit of a space cowboy. And the only guy I know who's ever won a jiu-jitsu championship while having a broken neck.
Wow.
So
Kurt Angle can't even fucking say that.
So without further ado, Biff Sweater.
What an introduction.
TC, thanks for being on, man. You're a brother. Love having you here. Love having you do this. Before we get started, I'd just like to ask, what movie do you think is better? Godfather Part 1 or Godfather Part 2?
Oh, geez, it's been a while. I got to go with the original. I mean, I guess.
That's the correct answer.
I'm talking
Not the correct.
straight out my ass.
It's wrong.
Talking straight out my ass.
God damn it, TC. Dude, I'll tell you, that's been a hot question. It's been a hot fucking
It's been back
question.
and forth.
It's been, dude, I'm on edge waiting for people to answer that question.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm not a huge movie aficionado.
And you're right.
I once had an argument with Bern that what was the movie that I was trying to argue that Back to the Future 2 was a better movie than some movie that Bern held in high regard.
It was probably like a Wes Anderson jam.
It was me and Meg had both agreed, and then by the end we both told each other that we didn't watch the movie that you were arguing for. So that's
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Outside of the Back to the Future trilogy, I don't have much.
I mean, do you need much? Come on. You know, dude, I'll tell you, fucking Back to the Future is pretty good. You know what's a sleeper Wes Anderson flick? The Fantastic Mr. Fox. Fucking love that movie. Fucking love that. Dude, at the end, when he's riding away and he sees the wolf and just throws up the fist and the wolf throws or the paw and the wolf throws the paw back. Great scene.
You remember
Not a word spoken.
They have a game in that movie called Hot Box where it's like a weird like baseball cricket type game they play for a minute.
Yeah.
And then if you win it at the end, you divide that by 9. So like whenever Pulaski and I see a woman who's incredibly attractive, we just go divide that by 9, please. Because but like what a weird little thing to just stick with you from a random movie. Anyway, yeah, it was probably a Wes Anderson movie or like because me and Timmy have, we see eye on a bunch of stuff.
Sure.
But I could
feel
see
like
that
when
being
you guys do have a disagreement, it's a well-discussed one. Turns into a well-discussed one.
It has.
TC, remember the
often over discussed.
Well, yeah, a lot of very verbose, lot of words. Way more
definitely don't have Murph in the same room.
No.
It'll go on for hours.
It's not brief.
Do you remember the one time that you almost got in a fight with this dude at the 20th Street house and we had to end up throwing him out and his buddy was wearing a rosary as a necklace? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I don't want to say his name.
We're not naming names.
I don't want to say his name because I like him. He's a good dude. But he needs to get the fuck out of that house. And
me too. He had a little bit too much to drink, and
things
started trying out.
And that was a Halloween ripper as well. So like it was full capacity. A lot of powder keg scenarios existing in that crowd.
Yeah. What was
my favorite? Wait, what was that?
Remember Jonesy's girl,
Lena?
Oh yeah, the Sudsy Donka Shane. Yeah. But I interrupted you, TC. What were you going to say?
I just remember that night that you're talking about. I believe this is the night where someone got Bern a bottle of Maker's Mark for his birthday. No, it's your birthday because it wasn't Halloween.
Yeah.
Or was it? Was it?
No, I think you're right. I think you're actually right.
Yeah. So there was this bottle of Maker's Mark there, and 2 people arrived to the party late, thinking. I don't know what they were thinking, but 2 people while everyone else was outside just drank an entire bottle of Maker's Mark. And then at some point, one of them who was, I think, an amateur MMA fighter,
had a couple amateur, maybe 1 or 2 amateur fights, maybe. He
decided to get one of my friends in a chokehold. And when I asked him to stop, he just took off his shirt and said, "Look at my physique." So I took off my shirt, which was a good contrast to
people start taking their shirts off. I usually follow suit too.
Yeah. But it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny that it was like a chiseled 200-pound black dude,
Jamaican dude. Yeah.
And then me that looks like this without a shirt on. I was like, look at my physique. Well,
we're doing it raw.
I just remember we had a rap battle before, and I won the rap battle pretty handedly.
Oh,
yeah. You remember that?
Was a wild party.
That was a wild one.
There was a mic there, right? We actually had like a mic.
Yeah.
One thing about Maker's Mark before I forget, one time at a party, I watched this drunk kid. I was like standing at a kitchen island, and this kid was like hammered in the corner holding the bottle of Maker's Mark. And I watched him, and he just turned the bottle and he just bit the wax and just started chewing it and put the bottle down and then like walked into the basement of this party. And I was like, that is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
He just needed to chew that wax, man.
At it, and he like turned it and he just and like took
that looks tasty.
On the rim of the.
It's like eating the worm in the bottom of the mezcal.
I remember like I had to leave and I was just like, I have so much more here to do.
Yeah.
I must go. I have to know how that kid ate the fucking Maker Marks wax.
I need to see him in 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and an hour and a half.
There's a kid running around there, which is the red mouth.
Yeah. He must have red shit all over. Damn.
Waxy asshole.
Yeah. How about it? I mean, hell of a move though,
I remember thinking that was like one of the first times I'd seen Maker's Mark like at a party because I was like 23, I was like, this is classy. And then somebody bit it and I was like, yep.
Yeah, that's about right.
It's all the same.
I still deserve shit alcohol.
Maker's Mark or Bankers Club. Too much is too much.
I feel bad for whoever was driving that night, but they definitely had to go after quickly killing an entire bottle of Maker's Mark. And fighting everyone at the party.
The whiskey heated people up.
Who adopted the name Physique as a rap name? Because I think there was another rap
that was me.
And I think it was you, Matty. I think you decided that from that point forward, you were going to go as Physique. That became your new rap name.
That was my rap name. Check out my physique.
Yeah. Just Physique is legit a really good rap.
I mean,
and a strong way to throw down the gauntlet. Like, look at my physique. I'm not.
He did have an impressive physique.
Is anything specifically? He didn't
We're on
threaten
the
you.
beach or something.
He didn't
No.
say fight me. He
No.
just said admire me in the
Yeah.
middle of a party
Yeah.
aggressively,
Yeah.
which could be taken, certain way.
Well,
but
after I asked him to leave because he was choking people that were just at the party.
Hanging out. Yeah.
Yeah.
they weren't
Shit got
looking
weird.
at his physique.
Yeah. I
No,
remember.
they weren't even looking at him. He was just
No.
walking up behind him and like, hey, look at what I learned. Like, oh, dude, that not everyone's cool with that.
Yeah.
These people don't know you.
Not even close. Not even close.
I'm
No.
still friends with him on Facebook though.
No, he's a good dude. People do dumb shit when they're drunk. There's no,
Yeah,
I got nothing against them, but it was,
Yeah, I'm over it.
yeah. I think we were all over it later that night, and
Yeah.
then, but the real doofus was his buddy with the rosary. He was like this hipster douchebag that had he was wearing like a rosary and a V-neck shirt, and had like a million bracelets. He was one of those guys. And he was just saying he was standing there like, you guys should just fight right now, fight. And we were like, yo, you shut the fuck up and leave. You know what I mean?
Just go.
Yeah.
No one has to fight.
Yeah. I was like, don't be fucking dumb. And then, either way. But it was fun. Physique. Oh God, I forgot about Physique. Such a great rap.
That's probably like
you gotta bring that back.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least,
Probably.
yeah.
No one's used it since. I thought it was a brilliant rap name at the time, and now we're like probably 11 or 12 years later, and still no one's broken through with Physique.
Yeah. Yeah. Check out my Physique. Look at me. Right. I mean, hey, Physique that's still my rap name. I didn't.
You can make Princess Bride jokes about Andre the
Dude.
Giant being Fezzik, like
when me fucking
the whole video.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Physique. That's well, okay. I guess
Physique,
my rap name's
Physique,
Physique,
I get it.
guys. I don't know. Check me out. Physique. Matt Physique
Like it.
Lavelle. Love it. Nice. All right. Well, let's keep it moving. Man, TC, do you remember that other time when we were hanging out
I
at
feel like this is like Chris Farley.
Yeah.
Like, remember when you were in the Beatles?
But I remember
Was it awesome?
Remember, so we had talked about this before, Bern, and I want to see if you remember this. Me and you, we were all TC was dating this one girl, and
I know what you're gonna say.
we were all hanging out, right?
I don't remember.
TC and the girl go upstairs, right? And then TC comes back downstairs with 2 boxing gloves, one on his right hand, and he gives me the one. He said, "Put that on, let's
Left
go."
hand?
Yeah, and I was like, "What?" He's like, "We'll just do one arm," and I was like, "What?" And then I was like, "What is going on here?" And then the girl comes down that you were
Angrily,
very angrily, with just panties on. And nothing else.
and calls you out. Like, are you coming back up or what?
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, fine. Just punching Matt. Jesus.
Like I just got, fine, I'll take my wiener out. Jeez. But yeah.
That girl was a trip.
That girl was a trip.
Yep.
All right, wait. Let's get this
Cra-
back on the rails. This is becoming
crazy,
more like an
crazy
ambush.
Sarah. Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, crazy. Hey, don't come. I mean, fan of the show. Listen to the show. And
I
she's
did
here
not
right
remember
now. No. All right. Okay, so let's keep it.
I did not remember the boxing gloves part, but that was pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
It was a whole, just another 141 on a Friday night on 20th and Fairmount.
Dude,
Just
that was
kept
fucking
that shit
house.
weird for 8 years.
That fucking house was such a blast. What a great fucking house, right?
Well, we had to leave Roxborough because it was about to be condemned.
Yeah.
And we found a great spot. That place would be. I'm pretty sure it's like $1 million property now.
Yeah.
Now it is, yeah.
Remember they were doing construction out back too? Oh, that was the worst.
As soon as they built those houses, those condos. the whole
Yeah.
neighborhood-
I recently did a breakdown of moving out of my house. Like since I moved out when I was 18, how many roommates have I had? I mean, people I lived with, right? The answer is 26.
Wow.
Now I did count my brothers again when we started, like when
Sure,
they moved to Philly, and we were
if you're
paying
living
rent
in a
together
different
in
house,
utilities, like not our parents' house. 27 roommates, and my longest tenured roommate, Biff Sweater.
Really?
shit.
Even more than
Yep.
your wife?
I didn't count her.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
she's excluded.
Okay. I'm at 10.
Biff Sweezy.
Yeah.
Love
Holy
it.
shit.
What, J-Dub, you just
Lot of memories
calculated
there.
it right now?
I've had 10 roommates. Yeah.
There's a lot.
Wait, are
It
you
is.
saying like
People you've lived with.
27, you have you have 27 different people, or the same people? Like there's a few people that repeated.
27 different
people.
individuals.
Wow.
That at one point we were paying the same rent and same bills at the same property.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That is a lot.
I didn't even count Jonesy's girlfriend, because she was technically just hanging out until she got her new place.
Could be technically counted.
I mean,
as well.
you logged more
I legit lived there. I was there like all the time.
Oh, if you count houses that like I've stayed at,
you flopped
at as like roommates, I would be in the fucking hundreds.
Yeah, legit. I was crashing.
I just need a couple weeks on the couch, man. Just need a couple weeks.
Yeah, like if I can count those people as roommates, I've had people literally go, "Who are you and when are you leaving?" I'm like, "Oh, Matt's buddy, Thursday." And they're like, "It's Friday."
Yes, I know.
And he hasn't been here since last week. I'm like, "I know, I'm filling in his spot." Like, that's not how this works. If he goes on vacation, you can't just live in his room. I'm like, "You said it's cool. Leave me alone."
Yeah.
It always worked so smoothly. Like we had a great spot. It was like $300 a month.
Yeah.
And like every week you'd have to be like, or every couple of weeks you'd be like, yeah, you owe me $27 for, the gas bill or whatever. But
yeah,
we made it work.
I remember you had like a chart that you had drawn up, Bern, and you
bill
would hang
chart.
it. Yeah, you hung it on the wall.
There was the bill chart, and then there was the chart for feeding Bowie.
For feeding the dog,
Yeah, twice a day. You had the X if you already fed him, because he would just eat 7 times a day with all our roommates. If you didn't mark it down, he would just be like, "Yeah, thanks."
he was a half golden retriever, half Bernese mountain dog, so he was like a $1.25. So like, he would just eat if you put it in front of him. Like, guy, we're gonna kill this dude. Like,
eventually
everyone can't feed
one
him.
eye. Yeah, Bowie had been through it.
Did you count Bowie as a roommate?
No.
Yeah,
I count him.
So you're at like 30 at least.
Yeah, I do still count him as a 49ers fan.
Oh, I like that. I like that. So R.I.P.
R.I.P. Bo.
Man, if those walls could talk, that was a blast, dude. There was legit like jdub. I did this for years, right? I was like, I lived in Manayunk, then I got arrested, then I had to move back in with my mom, and I lived there for like a couple of years. And then in those couple of years, I would have to take the train because I didn't drive. And I would leave my mom's house on, let's say, Monday, right? Because I worked in OC on Monday, right? So I worked open to close. So I would pack a bag, right? And I would pack a bag so that I would go to work Monday, right? And then I would have enough stuff with me in that bag for the 5 days I was working to get to work and back, right? And then after like Friday, right, which would be my last shift, I would go home again and like, sleep, clean, do all that kind of but like I was taking showers, but like I would crash at Bern's house one night. I would crash at Tom's house one night. I would crash at Amber's house one night. I did Jennifer, whoever.
Matty always found a port.
Yeah,
I did pretty much the same exact thing. I didn't have a place to live, so I moved back with my parents. I started like hanging out at my buddy's place all the time. They had this one roommate who no one liked, and it was a matter of time until he moved out. So I basically just staked my claim. I was like, I get his room when he leaves, and they're like, yeah. But I was like, when's he leaving? They're like, we don't know. And I just started sleeping on the couch. So I like lived in the basement, and like eventually,
all right, I'm gonna gaslight the fuck out of this dude every chance I get.
I'd be like, hey, no one wants you here, right? And you'd be like, when are you leaving? I'd be like, when are you leaving, dude?
You would say that to him?
I mean, like, briefly, kind of. Yeah.
Dude,
Lavelle would only show up with like 5 pizzas at any given time, just at like 2 a.m. He's like, hey, can I crash here? We're like, yeah. God. Or just like a case of Guinness or
Matty would always show up with beer, and I'd be like, we just work together for like 6 hours. You don't just come over. You don't need to bring beer. And he'd be like, so if he didn't bring beer, then he would do this, like, which is still just such a hero move. He'd order like 2 pizzas and a bunch of like fries from Fairmount Pizza the next morning when he woke up, and just leave it there, and then just go home. Just like get the train back to Lansdale. And like we'd wake up after a move, be like, did Matt Lavelle leave us like 2 cold pizzas and a bunch of fries? Because this is everything right now. Like,
I'm gonna say that this might have influenced me a little bit to move to Philly, because I remember when I was transferring colleges, I applied to like East Stroudsburg, Bloomsburg, Temple, and I'm just like, I don't know, maybe I kind of wanted to wrestle in college. I wasn't sure, but remember coming down to Roxborough the one weekend, and I was going to head back on Sunday. I had class on Monday, and Lavelle just showed up with a case of car bombs, just Irish car bombs at Roxborough. And I remember just like, I'll have one. And I'm just like, well, I have to stay here today now. So I ended up drinking car bombs with Lavelle all day and then having to drive to class from Philly on Monday, whatever time my first class was. But I was just like, I think I'm gonna move to Philly. I'm pretty much sold that this is a great place.
I think I was like not 19 or 20 at that.
Yeah, I don't even know how you got your hands on the, like, without having a state issued ID or being of age. You know, you were a resourcul guy.
We went, dude, that car bomb phase. That was a phase. That was a long, dirty road old Uncle Matty went down. Do you remember we had a St. Patrick's Day? I think that this is the last time I ever had one. I did 14 car bombs in one day.
I left you on the back porch on what street were you guys on?
Markle.
On Markle, and you were asleep in a full onesie with an Irish flag as a cape and like a Jeff cap on.
Yeah.
And you just fell asleep. And it wasn't warm. And I was like, should I get him in? And everyone there was like, let him. He'll be okay. Yeah, he'll be okay.
Yeah. And then I eventually just had to get it all out. You remember, Justin, because I think you guys showed up later because I was like, I'm dying. Right. Because I think Pete had like 12, like we were just going nuts.
He was part of the problem for sure. Like throughout the course of the day, he was right beside you.
Yeah, and we had the wheel.
With 4 different Irish whiskeys on it.
Yeah.
Of the auto pours.
Yep, you're the only one that drank that dirty Protestant whiskey.
Bushmills all day, every day. Faux lie.
Yeah. But all right, so let's keep it moving. Let's get into the little TC here. We kind of went bird walking there, but it's fun to do when you got so many good memories and stories.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. But TC here, he was born in Luzerne County, Pennsylvania, raised in mostly 40 Fort, PA. And then, he did public school in the Wyoming Valley West. Then he went to Luzerne County Community College, got his bachelor's degree from Temple, did some grad school at Temple. He's got a bunch of jobs, a bunch of stuff, but I want to get into it. So when you were younger, you played like all kinds of sports, soccer, baseball, basketball, volleyball, football, all that stuff. But then when you got a little older, right, like sophomore year, right, that's when you focused in on wrestling, right?
Yeah.
So what's going on there? Like, why did you switch and go to wrestling?
I did it because the football team basically made you practice all year. So like you had to lift weights like 3 days a week, and then you had to go to their camps all summer. You had to, they made you do like passing drills. Like I'm sure it was all illegal, but they're like, it was 5 days a week practice. You got 1 week off at the end of football season.
Right.
Yeah.
But
But if you don't show up, you're off the team.
Yeah.
So, or if you had another sport to go to, it was an excuse. So I was just like, I'm going to go out for a wrestling team. Just so I'm doing something. I'm not just lifting weights in a dark gym all winter.
Yeah.
So I just like, I'll try. A couple of my friends from the football team did wrestling, so I tried it out. I stuck with it. I actually never went back to football.
What weight did you wrestle?
Well, my sophomore year, I think I was 125.
Wow.
And then I wrestled at 145 my sophomore or my junior and senior year.
Nice. Tough cuts to 45.
Oh my, yeah. Like I'd be like 170.
Oh, fuck.
Just cutting it.
The worst.
Never doing it right. I had no idea how to cut weight except
no
for
one
I just
did.
I just knew I had to go to bed like 3 pounds lighter than I woke up. So I just run and put on garbage bags and all that.
Yeah. Dude, that was like how ungodly unhealthy was it? Like we were so, dude, I was even doing it when I was boxing, right? Like, and when I fought in the cage, same thing. I was 14 pounds over 2 days before when I fought in the cage, right? And like, I remember Bern, we were working together. I was worked and open to close at the.
Yeah, you were super pleasant, really a nice time to be working with Matt.
I think that helped me. I remember just being never meaner than when I was cutting weight. I feel like it kind of helped a little bit when it, because we had to weigh in the same day.
No,
we weigh in like literally an hour before we were compete. Like we didn't get to rehydrate. We got to however much water you could drink in an hour and warm up.
Yeah. No, you're dude. Plus too, like you went from not eating for days, not drinking for days, to being like so zapped to eating like till your stomach would explode. Then you're like lethargic, and you out there like you know what I mean? Like it was, dude. Like we worked in open to close at the pub of Penn Valley, right? And I was 4 pounds over, and this was the night before the fight, right? And dude, I was like, I didn't. Like the last time I had eaten something, I had an orange on Tuesday, and that was Friday, right?
And also, it was so miserable because I'm watching Matty just drag his ass all fucking day, and then at the end of it, he's 4 pounds, and I was like, oh, I've never felt worse for anyone like in person.
Dude,
yeah, you can't be in a good mood.
No.
But also, like, you know, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, your grandmother died. Condolences. But it was that level of like, dude, I don't even know what to say. I watched you just suffer for 2 straight days, and
I couldn't.
You're still not
talk.
there, and I can't help you.
I couldn't talk because my mouth was so dehydrated that when I tried to talk, it was like I couldn't get, like, it sounded like I didn't have a tongue because I was so dehydrated. But either way, I worked to open to close, come home, have to put the plastics on, and ran 3 miles, right? And like I'm running, and like I have to, like, eventually I'm like getting towards the end, and I start to sprint. And then I fucking had to stop sprinting because I was like, all right, I'm going to faint. You know what I mean? And then like, like I was like, I had to stop, and I take the fucking plastics off the top and stuff. And I'm like staring, I'm like fucking crying. Like, I told you, I told myself I'd never fucking do this myself again. Right. Because it was just like fucking in high school, you know what I mean? Or any other fight where you're like just killing yourself. You know what I mean? But, you know, I made the weight, and that's fucking how the cookie crumbles.
Hey, listen, I can attest that Biff Sweater was like well into his mid to late 20s and doing some wrestling coaching. But like when we lived together, his room was so hot. He slept in heat. Like, no. I would always like, I'd walk in there to like grab something and be like, look for the bowl or something. And be like, oh my God, is it always this fucking tropical in here? Like, because I'm sleeping on the third floor with the window open, you know?
Yeah, I never really had an air conditioner.
No. You slept in heat.
There's a few nights in the summer that got a little. I remember when Mold like first started hanging out, and she was just like, no, like I remember we were like driving around, like she's like, you have to buy an air conditioner today.
Yeah, I'm not coming over anymore.
Do you remember the night were you there when we tried to sneak into the pool around the corner from our house because it was so hot the one day in the summer?
No,
they had like security. It was Julie was there, I think,
and Dina.
And we ended up jumping. Well. We tried to get into that pool like right around from 20th Street, and then we ended up actually
the Francisville pool.
We actually ended up hopping into the fountain.
Yeah.
What the Logan Circle or whatever?
It was just so hot. We're like, we don't care, and we weren't the only people there. It was at night, and it was like some degrees.
So we're dude. I don't know about you. I fucking crank the AC up till it's like I'm sleeping in a refrigerator, brother. I do not fucking
listen. Just a little aside. I don't know. I hope he's a fan of the show, listening to the show. But John from Francisville,
Chieftain.
This is Bern. This is Timmy, the Chieftain. If you're listening, please reach out. Please reach out to the Working Perspective podcast because we've been looking for you for years.
I saw him a couple of times. I had his number, and then when I got a new phone, I lost it. But a couple of times I drove down 20th Street and actually stopped by and talked to him. It's been a few years now.
What was his
deal? He was just our neighbor, our mentor, our he let us know what was going on the block because it was so cheap when we moved there because it was like just pre like the gentrification kind of the Fairmount area.
Yeah.
In fact, the house we used to live in is now like a condo, like they knocked down our house part.
Yeah, like a $600,000 condo.
But he gave us a good tip. Like he gave us the good tips on, the street, the hood, what to do. And then every once in a while, he would just eat a bunch of mushrooms and just go give praise out in his backyard. And we like all shared it was like a 3-row house. So we had 3 backyards with the fences. You go for a smoke and be like, oh, John's yelling at the moon. Let's go see what he's up to tonight.
Yeah.
The best.
He's a
Plus
great
you had the abandoned house to the, I guess, well, if you're looking at the house, that was abandoned for the whole time we were there.
The whole
or you were there.
I lived there.
I say we.
The whole it was me, man. Yeah, everyone knows the drill. Yeah, but it was the whole time. I mean, the city owned it the whole time. Never did anything.
Dude, remember when you would get like the ice luges for the parties and stuff? Like,
dude.
Good fucking time.
So we didn't fuck around.
Yeah.
20th and Fairmount, 731 North 20th Street. Shout out.
fan of the show.
If you're listening to the show, go knock on the door. Tell him Bern says hi.
Yeah. So I will say this, right? Where we're from, we think wrestling is a big deal, but up there in northeastern Pennsylvania, wrestling is a massive deal. And, Wyoming Valley West is a really good team. Like, we would see you at nationally ranked tournaments with us at Liberty and things. And, and you guys did the same thing where you had the spotlight over the mat and you had like a lot of tradition with the school and a lot of like really good wrestlers that came through there. But there was some times where like it's getting so wild up there that you needed like police escorts and stuff, right?
Yeah, I remember there was must have been my senior year. I remember it was we were both undefeated. It was us and Hanover was the other big school in the conference or whatever. Both undefeated, and somehow we were just matched up at the end of the regular season.
Yeah.
And I think it was something like, forget what the occupancy was in the gym, but there was like 2 bleachers on both sides, but then we had like a balcony that you would open up when it was like sold out. It was like, 2,500 people or something. They had to open the balcony or whatever. Uh-huh. And of course, that back then it was heavyweight was always last. Now I think they changed it, or I don't know if they changed it back.
That was the
heavyweight
best.
was always last, and our heavyweight was great. Jim Moran, he was a beast. Never practiced, but he just beat everyone.
Yeah.
No one could even wrestle him at practice.
And what, did it come down to the heavyweight?
Came down to heavyweight, and I think he had to pin. And
pin to win?
And he got thrown on his back, and he was probably pinned. And somehow reversed and finally got the pin. And our fans were so rowdy. Their fans were so rowdy. They're like the away side of the bleachers were full too.
Okay, so it's at Wyoming Valley.
It was at home, yeah.
Okay. So at home, last match of the dual meet season, 2 undefeated teams going at it. And dude, ours was, I loved it because when I was coming up until I was a senior, it was heavyweight went last. And I fucking loved it. Right. Like,
it's always the best.
I'll tell you this, Big Pete has 6, like if they counted as like saves, right. As a heavyweight, like heavyweight saves, Big Pete, I've seen him do it 6 fucking times in like the most pressure situations.
Yeah. Also, I would never want to be last. I would never. No, if I drew last, I'd be like,
never fucking ever. I would want to be in that position because he's had it where he had to do like he was last and needed must wins and must pins, and he fucking did it. Big Pete, shout out. Amazing. The best. But okay, so it's you guys versus, is Hanover like a rival too, or
they were just really good that year? They just had a run. They were like,
and they're only 20 minutes away. I mean, they're close. It's close enough. It's a legit rivalry.
Okay, so you guys, it's last dual meet of the year. 2 undefeated teams. It's at Wyoming Valley West. You have the spotlight over the mat. The place is going fucking nuts, and it comes down to the heavyweight match, right? And our
guy gets put on his back early, and it's like 3 back points. You know how it is. Like, oh shit. Either way, he had to pin, but like he had to pull something out of his ass. But it was like close. Like it was tough even like on our team to like argue that maybe I want to hit the mat.
Yeah.
And like I remember like people are screaming. Like this one Mahmoud El Bata, his dad would always like rip his shirt out. He'd always wear a button-down shirt. And when there was
what was his name?
Mahmoud El Bata.
Was
he
like
he was a state place winner, like really top. Like he was like 4th in the state or something senior year.
I mean, with that kind of name, where's he from?
But
Turkey?
Jordan.
All right.
His dad would scream and get so fired up. I remember like, he'd like rip his shirt. He'd always wear a button-down shirt. And at least one point in the meet, he would just like rip it off.
Love it.
I don't know.
Dude, I love that shit.
People are screaming, like literally, like people
Shout
were
out
coming up to our bench.
Listening to the show.
They were screaming at our coach. They were screaming at the ref. Like after our heavyweight pinned their heavyweight, like the stand just emptied.
And it's like a riot.
People were coming after the ref, coming after our coach.
My God.
So literally, I remember having to wait in like our buses right out there because they bused us back to the middle school. I guess was where our wrestling room was. So we always warmed up there and met there and had a bus like
to go over.
But before we can get on our bus, like we had to wait for the police to like escort us out.
Damn, it was that fucking nuts. See, I love that shit, Yeah,
I don't know. Sports parents are crazy. I don't
know. Dude, wrestling parents are next level. We had shout out Mr. Deary. jdub knows him. He was the fucking best. He would lead chants in like the fucking like for like because we had a pretty big following, not just parents, but like when you're successful, people want to watch it. You know what I mean? So like we had a pretty big following, and he was like, I remember when Pete pulled off this, one of the 6s, right? He's just like, he gets the whole stance going, Pete, and the place is going fucking nuts, and everyone's yelling and like, oh my god, it's the best, dude. Like what an atmosphere as far as like, oh dude, like I've said before, it's just an organized.
It was insane. I think I took it for granted because like after that, like I wrestled in college, I coached, and like I never saw like an environment like high school wrestling like in the Valley. I was just like, oh, this must be like what it's like everywhere, and like
I mean, I've been in a couple situations like that, but yeah, no, that it's rare. It's very rare. But okay, so you're going through that. How was it? Like, there is a lot of tradition with MMA Valley. How was it? Did you guys have like entrance music and stuff? Like, what was going down?
For however many years, since whenever the song "Jumping Jack Flash" by the Rolling Stones came out, that was our entrance song.
Jumping Jack Flash, it's again.
Exactly. I don't know why it happened way before me, but it was just a tradition. I don't know.
To this day, still.
Do they still?
Yeah, Ryan Vasello, who was a great wrestler that wrestled with me, graduated the same year. He was, I believe, he was also a state place winner. Only lost to the Woodall brothers.
Damn.
And
dude, the Woodall brothers were both ranked number 1 in the nation at their weight classes. They were twins. One was 160, one was 152. One won the BC East, one got runner-up. So this guy's only loss was to them. They both got full rides to Penn State, which is the best wrestling college in the fucking nation right now.
Now it is, yeah.
Yeah, back then it's still a Big Ten school.
Still Big Ten, yeah.
Yeah, they're fucking
Big Ten is like that. Big Ten is like it for college wrestling.
Amen, brother. Amen.
The only division that matters. But yeah, that school was like 15, 20 minutes away from us, and we wrestled them.
Pittston area, right?
Every tournament. Yeah, we wrestled them in dual meets. We wrestled them every tournament.
Yeah. Did you guys wrestle West Scranton at all?
Yeah.
I remember there's a guy in West Scranton. His name was Dave Morgan.
Yeah. Little guy. He was like 4.5 feet tall. But
dude, legit. He was like 5. Yeah. He was like scraping 5 feet, but just like every muscle in the book times 10. He was like,
yeah, exactly.
Like so yoked. I remember Dave Witt. That was like his only loss at one point. Guy had a really good shrug. So, okay, so let's keep it going. We're going to get more into some wrestling talk later when we go back to when you were coaching it and stuff. But I want to get into some jobs. So when you started working, right? Like how old was you? Like, cause you started working for did maintenance for your grandparents, right?
Yeah. So I guess it was a job because they paid me, and that's how I bought my first car. But my grandparents had a car lot when I was a kid, and, it was just a big property, so I'd like cut the grass and like start cars and change oil and shit like that. But
they're paying you, like they're teaching you like valuable life skills as well as paying you to do it. Like, you know,
and I was like not old enough to work yet, really. I was like 13, 14. So
yeah, they're like cheap labor. Here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was like $4 an hour, but I ended up getting the car out of it. They just ended up the first car.
What kind of car was it?
Honda Civic in 1986 Honda Civic.
Not bad.
Sky
Tokyo
Blue,
Drift.
Sky Blue.
Right.
You remember that car, Bern?
Did you pimp it out with all like? Did you have like a fin on the back and all that, or what?
Nope.
No.
I had maybe a couple fish stickers or stickers or something.
A speaker, 2 bumper stickers, and
does everybody remember
glass
their
bowl.
first car? jdub, what was your first car?
Yeah, it was a Ford Escort.
Nice.
Really? That's not bad.
Yeah, it was manual.
Very reasonable.
I drove it to the mechanic, and he told me there's so much shit wrong with this that I will not let you take it home. And I was like, what? Like, and then he's like, he pulled the board out from behind the driver's seat, and the seat just would fall backwards. I was like, what? That's not okay. And he's like, no, where did you get this car?
Where did you get it?
My father like left it at the house, and he was like, you can have this. And I was like, sick. And it started, and then but like the seat, and I got it running and shit, got my license, and then
did you test for your license in that car?
No, I used my stepfather's like Jeep. But yeah, that was technically my first car, and I drove it for like a while, not like legally.
You beat it into the ground.
Yeah, blew the clutch out and then got another car.
Nice. Well, all right, Bern, what was your first car?
Sirens. 1991
Pontiac?
Maroon Pontiac Grand Am 4-door with gray shit interior. I made a deal with my old man. He was like, whatever you can save up for a car, I'll match it for you. So like whatever you bring me money wise, when it's time for you to get a car, I'll match it for you. So I hit the Golf and Fun Center and cranked it out for a year or two, and then I think we actually bought the car for like $2,300 or something. You know what I mean? It wasn't anything big, but I bought it about 2 months before I turned 16. So it just hung out in the garage. So I would just go out to the garage. Like by the time I was able, like street legal,
just listen to the radio in the car. Yeah.
I had the
I did the same thing.
I had the radio, every radio channel was set. I knew exactly where my seat was supposed to be. Like I was just doing the ambiance for a while.
Love it.
But I hear stories about kids who are like 16, 17, 18, like, yeah, I don't know, I'll get my license eventually. And I'm like, there's nothing in my life.
No, I couldn't wait. Kids now they're not even excited about it. I remember I didn't even know how to drive. It was a 5-speed. I didn't even know how to drive a stick. I took my test on like my grandmother's car. Like that Friday night, I just got the thing. I'm like, I'll figure it out. Like I'll drive. I'm like peeling out in the drive-through, like
the way I learned.
I was rolling backwards down hills, like throwing the e-brake on. I was like, no, I'm driving today.
Yeah.
The way I learned to drive stick, my mom worked for this doctor's office. Is like, he's got this Volkswagen for sale. It's a nice car. He wants $5,000 for it. I'm taking you to go buy it. So I get in the car. She drives me to Doylestown. She drops me off at like the top of his driveway and drives away. I go up. I have the check like with my name on it. This is like, I'm like, here you go. He's like, I get in the car. It's manual. And I had that escort for 26 days at 16 years old. This is at like 18. This is like my second
no experience.
And I look at the guy and he looks at me and he's like, do you know how to drive a manual car? I not only don't know how to drive a manual car, I don't know how to get home from here. And he gave me like a demo in his driveway. He's like,
that's nice of him.
And then I figured out like how to not stall out. And he's like, all right, go left. That'll take you to like Harleysville. And off the road I went.
My first car was a period blood red Subaru C4 with shit gray interior, no sound system, no windshield wipers.
You had the boombox.
I had a boombox with batteries. I opened the sunroof one time and it never closed again.
Oh, no.
And this thing was like, I bought it was $400 I paid for it, right? It was back in 2002, that was a deal. 2 of the wheels were donuts that I packed so full with like
that foam shit.
Yeah, with the foam shit.
Fix a flat.
I jam packed it with the fix a flat that they were like rock hard. So it was like steering, like they were always on ice half the car.
You're ice skating, man.
Yeah.
You're drifting.
Bro, that car, I mean, eventually it would die in front of my mom's house and we would just throw batteries or baseballs at it. And we got it towed. And then, that was a Subaru C4. Shout out, fan of the show, listener to the show.
They run forever though.
Dude, I'll tell you, those Subarus. Okay, so let's keep it on, moving on down the road. All right, so you're working as a maintenance mechanic. You do your thing, you buy your car. Then this is a very interesting job. You were a DJ / mascot at the local roller skating rink, the Roller King. Is that right?
Roller King.
That was a great job. Oh,
how many kids were getting to second base and smooching it up at the roller?
Oh, so there was also, I forgot about this. There was also another section of this place that was a dance club for children. So it was just like dark, like black lights, and there's 2 DJs.
The live wire,
glow sticks.
Yeah, the live wire was called.
Glow sticks everywhere.
Yeah. So you either worked the roller skating half, or they had the nightclub for like kids on like Friday nights. They had like literally a children's nightclub.
It was just a bunch. It was just a bunch of lasers and like semi-edited rap music where everyone was trying to French.
Yeah, you've been in there at some point.
I've Frenched in the live wire, my friends.
You just had to turn a blind eye to all the children, whatever was going on. I was like 16 at the time, so I was like a minor.
The oldest
myself.
guy in there by 2 years.
Yeah, but then
Children's nightclub is the creepiest thing.
It was strange, and I don't know if it was designed, because I feel like in the 80s, like roller skating like wasn't just
and dancing was not just for birthday parties. It was like a legit thing people did on the weekends, like Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
But like by the time in the late
Apparently in the
90s,
South,
like when I was
it's
working
still
there,
massive.
it was like, yeah, it still is. But like in the late 90s when I was still there, it was like kids that weren't old enough to do other things. Like I don't
Yeah,
even know
it
how to
was that
describe
in
it, but-
between like 7th, 8th grade kind of thing.
But if you were like 20 and hanging out there, like people would be like,
Oh,
keep an eye on this guy. Like,
yeah, you're the
know what he's
biggest
doing here.
creeper in the history of the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's brutal. Nice. All right, but so what, like, so you're DJ, like, but you're a mascot though. How long did it last, and when, like, why did it end? What was going? And like, did you
So
have to
I think
roller skate on with the mascot costume on?
So mostly, I think their bread and butter was on weekends, like during the day, they had kids' birthday parties.
Oh, I bet. I freaking bet.
And it was like there was like 20 of them a day. There was like 10 parties at once, and there was like 2 shifts, and they're changing over like every hour or whatever. And so the mascot was a crocodile, and I had to go out and like do the hokey pokey with all the kids. Yeah,
man. How old were you?
I was like 15.
Yeah,
like 14, 15.
Sure.
Like,
yeah. You got a kick
So-
out of it the first time, but then after that, you're like, all right.
Old
I
enough
did
to
it
be
for a
like,
while.
oh my God.
It wasn't an easy
Check
gig.
out
I
my
remember
class.
like, so at one point I'm like literally like doing the hokey pokey with all these kids, and there's like a kid that's like 13 years old. Like,
Yeah.
the kids like always like pull your tail and shit. They don't realize it's like a person.
Yeah.
And they think it's like I'm like some kind of cartoon character or something, like jumping around doing this.
Mhm.
So I remember at one point like a kid, he's like maybe 13 years old, just walks up and like kicks me in the shin with his skates on.
Oh,
So in the middle of the floor, I just took my mask off. I was like, bro, you're coming with me. I was like, come on. So I'm like holding the mask in one hand and holding the kid by like the arm and like walking to the office. And in the middle of it, like not even realizing like I broke character. I guess. I just see like little kids like crying because the alligator just ripped his head off and was like yelling at someone. I was like, oh no.
So, like, there's an angry adult inside of that alligator.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like 15 at the time too. But
I know.
what was the crocodile's name? Like,
Croc.
oh,
His name
right.
was Croc.
Oh no, Crocky! What happened? Yeah, they're going nuts. Oh man,
That was fun. So
that-
after I paid my dues, because it's still like it would happen all the time. Like I would still get sent out there and like they would just fight you. Like I don't know what the kids thought this thing was. They just thought you were like a big.
Northeastern PA freaking.
They thought you were like a
nut
big
job.
stuffed animal there. So,
Yeah.
but like finally, I got to just like after I paid my dues, I just got to sit up in the DJ booth, drink coffee, and play shitty '90s music.
Now that's what I call music volume 7. Yeah.
That's kind of what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
They would get every month. They would send you the top 40 pop songs of the month.
Oh
pretty much-
man.
You pretty much would have to stick to that.
I would love to see what that list was right now. So wait, what year was this?
So remember Mambo number 5?
Oh,
Vegas?
whatever year that was. That's
Yeah,
the year Timmy's
Genie in the
referencing.
Genie in a Bottle.
Oh
like
god.
NSYNC,
So what's this?
Backstreet Boys.
99, 98?
No.
Yeah,
You know-
90. Yeah.
Also,
Late
yeah,
90s.
because we also had some work at the golf center, but I work at the golf center was, I was in high school from 96 to 2000. And that was really the time working at a place that's just playing commercial radio where there were like 7 artists like in the top 40 and they all had 4 songs. And
Yeah, I'm
that's just
pretty
what
good
we
at trivia
did.
now. Like I'm pretty good at 90s music trivia just from that job.
So-
Like, if like a song comes on, I'll be like, this is Sum 41.
Okay, so I looked
Whatever the
up
fuck that is.
I looked up the top songs, the top charts in the summer of 1998.
Yes.
So what do we got here? Boys, are you ready? The number 1 song that came up.
No Scrubs?
That Boy Is Mine by Brandy and Monica. The Boy Is Mine. And then the next one on the list, Everybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
Maybe 99.
Seen them live in
Scrubs.
concert. FYI, I saw Backstreet Boys live in concert.
good for
Here's a touching story. When my wife came to this country, she didn't know English, and she listened to the Backstreet Boys, and that's what helped her learn English. So she has a very much sentimental attachment to the Backstreet Boys. So one year for her birthday,
Does she often just go like, ow?
Oh, so this was
Like,
more recent.
Is there a lot of that?
Dude, this was like 4 years ago. For her birthday, I got us tickets to see because the Backstreet Boys were doing a stay in Vegas, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I got us tickets to see them in Vegas, and we
Nice.
went out to Vegas and saw the show, and it was like Legit.
Sounds like a win-win.
Even the songs that weren't popular, she knew every word to every song and was like the biggest fan. And yeah, so then after Everybody by the Backstreet Boys, You're Still the One, oh,
Shania?
The Shania Twain
Little
song.
Shania.
Yeah.
What is Ada by Sarah McLachlan? What's that?
80
In the
by Sarah
or no,
McLachlan.
80 I
No.
do believe I failed you.
jdub, you're on it. It's actually her best jam. If I had to pick my favorite Sarah McLachlan song, it'd probably be the one.
What is Too Close by Next?
I don't know most of these songs. This is
I don't remember that.
Oh, it's standing something 2000. Then a little
Little
bump
bit
coming through
to
on
you. Yeah,
That's too
yeah.
close. Girl, I know
No,
you
it's
felt
not.
it.
Yeah.
No, you know you can't help it.
Yeah, that's all.
All right, then the next one is that thing, that thing, that thing.
okay.
Oh.
We aren't allowed to listen to that music though, guys. You
That's
know
not true. She never said that.
that. And then Closing Time.
Oh, yeah.
Henna, henna, henna. I heard this
I would always
song
put that
a
on when I-
million times working at a fucking bar.
We would put that on when we were cleaning up.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
Very
is why
clever.
me and Timmy were just tripling down on like mushrooms and the Red Hot Chili Peppers in like the late
Yeah.
90s.
How about
how
about that new
some
record?
Stone
Bern?
Roses, man? Dude,
Yeah.
I feel so bad for Klinghoffer because like he did a really great job. And then
Nah, he sucked. He sucks.
he was fun as a guy who doesn't
Yeah.
understand. Listen, I don't understand music at all, but he kept them rolling. And then Frusciante goes
Yeah.
back, and you're like, oh, well, this is what it's supposed to sound like
So much
all the
better.
time. Yeah, that was I would say No Scrubs is probably the song I've heard the most in my entire life. Whatever that was, maybe the summer of '99.
What about My Way
I-
by Usher? My Way.
I go to
on a better day.
it's no Scrubs, dude.
My
No
dude,
Scrubs.
was that on 8701? Was that that album? Usher? That
I
was a
don't-
great fucking album.
I don't own an Usher album actually.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Usher album? Why would any of us own an Usher
Oh
album?
wow!
I don't know.
None of
All
us are
My
Usher's
Life by
demographic.
Casey and JoJo. Wow.
Matt, I like how your range is going so high it's actually canceling out your mic.
Oh, is
Like
it?
you're dropping out a little bit. I think you're hitting. I
Like
think you need to recalibrate. I don't think your mic realizes the range
Oh.
that you've built over these last couple of months.
You
The
know
dogs
what
in
it
the neighborhood
is?
are going nuts.
Ever
Yeah.
since ever since my voice came back, I've been able to hit the. Yeah.
Yeah,
As long as
I take it
can
back.
Get a good podcast in there. Go ahead, TC.
I am no aficionado on 90s music. I didn't know half of those songs that were in
Dude.
the top 10. So
You and me
Never
both,
mind.
brother. You and me
I
both.
successfully blocked it out, I guess.
Yeah.
We were listening to Stone Roses and fucking Chili Peppers and
In
Limp
a
Bizkit.
pool- No. So let's keep it moving. The next gimmick you went into, you got in the delivery business. Now this encompasses quite a few things. You
I did it for a
delivered.
long time. Sure.
You
Go ahead.
delivered food. You delivered narcotics, both legal and otherwise.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you also delivered people.
People?
Well, didn't you drive around the people at the stadiums?
Oh yeah, I did that.
I guess you-
I also, while I delivered pizza, I also ran a gypsy cab in Manayunk because it was, you know how it's all hills.
Yeah.
There was always a side hustle delivering pizza. I'd always be doing something else, but a bit
A
like,
gypsy
just
cab. What's a gypsy cab?
I would just see people like down on Main Street Manayunk, just like, where are you going? They're like, oh, we got to go to Ridge and Martin Street.
And
You're
you want
like,
to ride
right.
up the hill?
20
Give me a
bucks.
lift, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever, a couple bucks.
Dude,
I
I
was going there
remember
anywhere.
I remember me and Kev Byers were coming back from Manayunk one night and we're driving up. This is when I had my Chevy Cavalier, the silver Chevy Cavalier. It's a 2-door. We're driving up. I think God was it maybe Shirt not Shirt. What God damn it, Leveringer, right? Or Leverington. We're driving up Leverington and it's like a big hill and we're driving up and there's these two guys. And then there's a girl like a little bit in front of them. And you can tell like they're kind of like all in a group, but the girl's like sick of them. So we're driving up and the girl starts to run after us. And I stop the car, right? And I'm like, let her in. And Kev gets out, lets her in. Like he has to get out, move the seat up and let her in the car. She gets in the car, right? And then the two guys that were with her come running up like, no, she doesn't go in there. You don't get like, and Kev's standing there like, yo, don't touch her, right? Like kind of thing. Like Kev's blocking him. And I turned around and I'm like, what's the deal? And she's like, do you want me to stay or go? I was like, you seem like too much more trouble than you're worth. You should go. And she's like, you're going to regret that. And then just got out of the car. And I was like, all right, let's get out of here, Kev. I was like, man, what if she would have stayed? Who knows?
Levering Street different. Was Levering Street in Manayunk the one where they used to ride the shopping carts down the street?
No, that was Lyceum. That's the wall. Lyceum? Yeah, remember the wall? Oh my God. The midnight run. You talking about the midnight run?
Before the bike race.
Yeah, the midnight run. Oh, they're going down shopping carts and couches and like the midnight
that was the
run.
Best thing. That was the best thing about living in
the bike race?
Yeah, that was my favorite thing about that was my first morning in Manayunk.
Was the bike race?
Yeah, I was like, this is the best place I've ever been to in America.
Legit, the bike race. Manayunk is an island during the bike race, a fucking island. You're not getting on, and you're like, once you're on, you're not getting off.
I remember the night we moved down. I went down to, I forget, I was down that day, and I was down in South Philly at Ellen's house, and we had to get back to Manayunk before like a certain hour, or like Bern's just like, no, you have to get here for the bike race. But like you have to get here before they shut shit down at 2 a.m. or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. They shut down Kelly. Yeah. Yeah. So we get there like just in time or whatever. And I'm like, I didn't even have a key yet. I remember. So
was this on Martin Street?
Yeah. So I get to Martin Street and I'm like, we're like trying to whatever. We were good. We got a parking spot, like whatever. We parked across the street there in that parking lot.
Yeah.
And but I get to the front door, it's locked. I go around to the back door, also locked. So I'm like, so I'm like banging on the front door, and then I start banging on the window, and I'm looking in the front window, and Bern's asleep on that couch right in the front room.
Yeah, yeah.
And he just won't move though. I'm just like, Bern, and I'm like reaching in and like hitting him. Yeah. Like Bern, he won't wake up. So finally I like crawl, like shimmy into the front window, like head first.
Yeah.
Onto the couch with Bern. And I remember like my legs are still outside and I'm like face to face with Bern on the couch. And he just opens his eyes all of a sudden. And he's like looking
like, oh, fancy meeting you here. Yeah.
I was like, Bern, it's Tim. He's like, hi, Tim. I was like,
what are you doing?
I was like, you didn't hear me knocking on the front door, and then I just like go around and like unlock the door from inside.
And you let Ellen in, and dude, I
was like, I need a key, man. I need a key.
Yeah. Dude, I think I met Ellen the first time on the porch. Like I got something from there, and then I was waiting for my ride, and she walked up. I was like, "Oh, you're Ellen?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Hey, I'm Lavelle." And she's like, "Oh, hi," and then went in.
and then she ended up working at Vinny T's, right?
Yeah. Oh, Ellen's the best. Love Ellen.
I think most of that house worked at Vinny T's at some point.
Yeah, somebody had to. So, all right. So you're delivering, but this is when what was the deal with like delivering delivered pharmaceuticals in like
the Valley? Yeah.
Yeah. What was that deal?
It was pretty cool. It was a supplier. It delivered to mostly like nursing homes and like personal care homes.
Okay.
A lot of the personal care homes were like people with like mental issues that had to be like kind of institutionalized, but it was like it was kind of like a halfway house situation where there was like these big houses that had like like 8 or 10 beds and like a lot of psychiatric beds.
Oh wow.
Pretty neat. Yeah, I met a guy with multiple personality disorder.
So you met him a bunch of times, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I actually remember at one point, like I like it was just he was always like catatonic or it's like heavily mental.
Really?
He said something. He still like I forget. Like he told me he was like a singer or something. The one guy, and I came back to the next day. I was like, "Oh, how's your album coming, man?" He's like, "That's not me, man." He's like, "That's the guy that controls my body when I'm asleep." And I was just like, "Okay, well, tell him I said hi."
Yeah.
And like walking in, there was like various levels of like crazy like schizophrenics and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes that I'm actually one of those people, and this is all just made up in my head. And those people know what's going on. And like, I think that I'm us, but they're really us and I'm them. And this is what's going on in my mind while I'm in a catatonic drug-induced state somewhere on a porch. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Right. So you guys are just all part of the show. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, nice. Well, let's keep it on moving on down the road. All right. So you were delivering in the Valley.
Yeah.
And you were working at Domino's, right? And
yeah.
And
got it. I got it.
You got a special tip one time. Would you care to share that story?
Yeah. So like I remember like thinking like as a kid, like I'm just like I'm gonna have to get a job eventually. Like really dreaded getting a job. Like
Sure.
just the idea of it. I was like, school. I fucking hate being in school.
Yeah.
8 hours, whatever. I remember at one time, like we were going to the movies and I saw like these delivery drivers. It's like a Friday night and they just like bake the pizza, go out. I was like, oh, that's like not really a job. Like I could probably do that. Like you see your boss for like 5 minutes when you're inside, then you're out in your car, like listen to music, smoke cigarettes, whatever, weed, whatever you want. I was like, so that's gonna be a kick-ass job. So I convinced myself, like, I don't know if you had to be 18. So like
it's not a bad gig.
Yeah, as soon as I turned 18, I like left the roller skating business industry.
You hung up your skates.
Yeah, I hung up my skates.
Crocodile head there and said, "This is done." Yeah.
And then I remember like my first week, like I was already obsessed with like how cool of a job it was going to be, and it was pretty good money too. You get tips or whatever. But like I remember like my first week delivering pizza, I got a BJ as a tip, and I was just like, yes. I was like, I made
This is the best fucking job ever. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I definitely made the right decision.
How did it work though? Like she just was like, "All right, kid, here you go." Like
she actually ordered twice in the same night. So like I remember like she ordered and I think she knew like the manager that was working there or whatever, and she said something to him, but she's just like he's just like, oh yeah, your last delivery, like I saw her earlier. She's like, what do you think about so and so or whatever? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah, would you let her BJ you? I was like, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, here's your last delivery. So last delivery night, I was like, you already know. So she ordered like a small personal size pizza or like whatever the smallest thing on the menu was, just like a side of marinara sauce or whatever. It's like, this is your last delivery, go ahead. And never happened again, but I was convinced that happened like on a regular basis.
Like, this happened my first week on the job, this is gonna happen like forever. Yeah, I
was like, this happens all the time, but not as glamorous as
well, good for you. That's great, man.
It's fun,
I'll tell you.
Fun experience.
Yeah. Hey man, that's how you do it. So so then after like you would deliver pizzas, but then like you're going to school and stuff, and like you're going to community college up in Luzerne, right? And then you're delivering, and then you would move down to PA after you ran into Car Bomb Matt, which at the time was my official nickname, right?
Yes, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Pre-physique,
it was Car Bomb. Pre-physique, it was Car Bomb Matt. Yeah, God, it was Car Bomb Matt for a little bit because I think
you touched a lot of souls.
Yeah,
at least one entire football season it was Car Bomb Matt.
Yeah, man. Whoo. Dude, I've honestly, if I smell a Car Bomb now, I'll throw up. It's like
you can't. Yeah, once you're 21, like. If you're not going to a bar with a fake ID, like why would you ever drink a Car Bomb?
Dude, I can't. It'll make.
I don't even know what's in it. It's what Bailey's, Guinness, and something else.
Irish whiskey, Bailey's,
sacrament
into the Guinea,
and you have to drink it like real quick, or just curdles and turns. It turns the vomit in the glass before you drink it. If you don't drink it in 5 seconds.
True.
Yeah, man. Them Jaeger bombs. Oof. Jaeger bombs are done. Had a bad night on the Jaeger bomb.
But at least they don't curdle.
Surfer on acid. I used to get that all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know why I liked it. Yo.
I think that was Jaeger
and pineapple juice.
Yeah, it was like Jaeger, and
I loved it.
And pineapple, I believe.
We used to get
they had so many
pictures of that at the bottle.
Yeah, there was a bar called the Hollow Bottle, and they served pictures of shots in the Valley, which was just like the shaker, like the metal shaker with the little had like the spring on the top.
Yeah,
and you shake the drinks in it. They would just fill that with shots, and it'd be like $10 at this bar, and we would just pass it around.
I have no less than 2 Hollow Bottle t-shirts short, still like banging around somewhere.
Love the name.
I feel like we should get those remade.
We should. Great wings, and the one of them said was "Hallowed be thy bottle," and the other one was very straight up. Your alcohol problem is our profit. Hollow bottle.
Wow.
They didn't play games. It was a great place. Timmy and I had we're there with a buddy's 21st birthday. I'll call him JFK right now, and. He had literally been going there for 2.5 years. Yeah. He had been going there. He had been like unofficially bouncing there. He would occasionally go behind the bar and just drink other people's drinks. Like he'd been a dude who'd been there for a long time, and he insisted
he was a regular.
Go there. A regular, yeah.
How old was he?
Most regular. Well, the night we showed up on his 21st birthday with his parents, and the dude who owned the place, Mark, was just like, "Are you fucking serious?"
Well,
Like, he
it
turns
happened.
21 today. He's
happened also
been
be the
menacing me
owners.
for 2 years. Yeah.
Well, it was the owner's birthday as well. They shared the same birthday. So the owner was hammered at his own bar, and then he's just like, "Oh, it's my birthday," and he's like, "My birthday too." And he's like, "Oh, how old are you?" And he's like, 21. And the owner's punched him in the face.
Just took a swing at him.
But the owner was like 160 pounds, and Cuddy at the time was JFK. We'll call him.
JFK was probably walking around
like
240.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
significantly,
and also like that kind of dude.
At that time, he was the rowdiest drunk.
Was he the dude that as soon as a fight would kick off, he was like the big guy that would rip his shirt off? Is that who you're talking about?
No, you're thinking of physique.
No, yeah.
No, I remember you telling me you had a buddy who would like whenever something would kick off at a bar, he was like a bigger guy, and his first.
He definitely had a shirt. He definitely took his shirt off at the bar before. Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
All right,
well, but he also didn't have to. He was just a thick boy, and like
his physique was not impressive.
Man, well, there's only one physique, my man.
It's true.
Physique. Damn, God, I forgot how great that rap name is. So happy.
That's what they do in rap songs.
All right, so let's keep it moving then. So you're down in the city and you're working at and you would run into Jersey Joe. Tell us a little bit about Jersey Joe. A little bit of a character, this Jersey Joe.
Oh, he was a legend. Jersey Joe is the best manager of all time. He never stressed out. Like, you could call off anytime. He'd be like, whatever, don't worry about it. I remember my first delivery. I had 15 pizzas and I dropped them all. He was like, don't sweat them. Put them, a couple of them. We put in a new box. Make you a couple more. It's like, whatever. Like, he didn't even care. It's like, I just dropped 15 pizzas.
Domino's would have had my ass for that.
He always had like a side hustle. Like, I remember the day, like, this is how long ago this was. The first iPhone came out.
Yeah.
And he just had like 40 of them in the trunk of his car. Like, when the Nintendo Wii came out, he's just like, you want a Wii? $200. Like, all right. And like he sold like Eagles jerseys all the time. Like, all the drivers there had like whatever player you wanted. For some reason, the people in Roxborough though were so racist. They wanted the Akers jersey because they wouldn't wear a black player's jersey. But we had like, yeah. So you had like, yeah. Or it was like Brent Selleck at the time or whatever. It was a hot seller.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the McNabs did not really fly off.
Jeff Garcia is flying off the shelves, right?
T.O. was there.
Even though his name is Garcia.
Yeah.
But he would always have something. He had like Jordans he would always sell.
Riley Cooper. Yeah.
So like the pizza manager, like he never gave a shit because that was kind of like secondary to what was going on.
He's
there.
like, oh, we're delivering pizzas too, but also I have, a couple of broken iPhones here.
Yeah, he had brand new iPhones. Like,
golly.
But he had
where
like
did this guy get all this stuff?
Jersey, man. He was Jersey Joe.
Jersey Joe.
I still have a 2XL Eli Manning jersey.
I don't know if he was Jersey
legit?
Joe. He drove from Jersey every day, but he also sold jerseys. So I don't know where Jersey Joe came from. But
could be double entendre.
A little bit of, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say a perfect marriage.
Wait, yeah, he would always have every movie that came out like on bootleg DVD.
Nice.
Like,
I
he had
miss a good
purses, he had
bootlegger.
Jordans. Yeah, he was
I used to get bootlegs all the time. I miss bootlegs.
I would get shit
The
that I
best-
didn't want to watch.
Do you remember
$5.
Do you remember Marco's Productions, Bern?
I
We
do.
had a
I do.
cook that worked at Vinny's, right? And
Yeah.
he would his grand nephew or whatever taught him how to use a computer and to burn movies, and he would
steal shit.
and steal, burn whatever DVDs, and he learned how to do it. And then he legit would do it, and he would print out on the bootleg Marco's Productions.
He found a way to do like a watermark on like the front of the CD case. And this guy,
Just so it was easier to bust him for.
yeah,
Dude.
I don't know, but like worked with him for 5 years, not a single word of English, and yet there was never a misunderstanding.
Yeah,
Truly
He
a
was
master
bad dude.
salesman. I think he was actually.
He had a
but
couple kills for sure.
I was too young at the time to know. I will say the greatest fight I've ever witnessed was over Biff Sweater's bootleg Jordan on South Street. we were at a couple bars one night, me and Biff, and we were, we were at Tattoo Moms at some point. What do you think this is? Probably like 2007, 2008.
On South Street?
Right about,
Yeah, we're just like dicking around.
I didn't hang out down in South Street.
Neither did we, but like we went down to do something, and then we just hung around and then just bounced around the bars. We're like, what was it? Was McGlinchey's the place that's on 2nd and South?
Yeah.
Whatever the Irish joint is. We were
There's
there.
some Irish joint down there,
And we're leaving Tattoo Moms, and some dude was walking past Timmy, and he goes like, "Hey, nice fake Jordans, buddy." And Tim goes, "Thanks a lot." Now, Timmy had these Jordan 11s that were gray on gray with a red sole. I don't care if they were real or fake. They were hot
fucking
fire.
Hot potato.
Right? So, and we see this dude, like, it's probably like 1:15 or 10 after 1. We're going somewhere else, and we're walking out. He's nice fake Jordans, dude. And Timmy's like, "Yeah, thanks, buddy." And then
he was telling us, he was telling us, I think he was first telling us we weren't supposed to be drinking outside. And I was like, "Do you work here?" And he's just like,
well,
no. He's like, "No, but I know the bouncer." And I was like, "Okay, we'll have him tell me." Like,
yeah. And then we end up going somewhere else, and like we're walking around South Street looking for a cab.
He kind of followed us, right?
He was behind us, and then we kind of meet up again, and he's still on it, man. Like, "Oh, this fucking fake Jordan guy. Nice fake Jordans. And eventually, like, we're like, okay. And I'm walking with Timmy, and I'm like, I'm a pretty non-confrontational dude. And Timmy actually, for the amount of like punishment he can do to someone, very rarely,
he's not looking
the aggressor.
Yeah.
But eventually, it's like, this fucking guy. Like, we're just looking for a cab. Now it's 2:15. We're hammered. We just want to get home. This guy's still chirping about fake Jordans from an hour and a half ago. And how did it actually come down?
Well, I was just like, "What?" I was like,
back.
"No," I was like, "What?" You were like holding me, like, come on. And then I was like, "What, dude? What do you want?" And then he turned whatever he was saying into, we'll just say, a homophobic slur. And I just remember you just let go of me. I remember you just you were like, had your hand on my back, and you're like,
yeah. All right.
And then
I can't help me.
Like,
Timmy
so I was just like, but like the fact that he like stopped pushing me away, I was just like, "Oh, now I better do something."
Yeah.
And
so
then
Timmy knocks this kid out in the middle of 14th Street. So it's like 14th and South at an intersection, and knocks this kid out in the middle of the street. And then the light changes. So like when Timmy hits this kid, there's one dude I remember in a Jeep who was like 3 cars back who was like, "Oh no!" Like spectators, these people leaving South Street at like 2:10, 2:15.
Yeah, traffic's like stopped.
Yeah.
Like, it's like standstill traffic.
Yeah.
And then the light turns green. So Timmy walks out into the street and gets this kid under his shoulder and starts dragging him over.
No, you
side
carried
of the road.
him. You carried him.
Was it me?
Yeah, I ran.
Yeah,
me and Richie ran.
Yeah, that's right. You and Richie ran.
And you're like, "I'm not going to be associated to a murder real quick. So let's."
These guys, yeah, you're right. You and Richie ran because we came home separately. We all found our own way home. And I carry this kid over to the sidewalk, and his girlfriend is going, "Thank you, good night. Thank you, good night. Thank you, good night. Thank you, good night." And I'm like, here's your fucking dude who was begging to get knocked out and got knocked out. And I don't know what your relationship is, but I feel like you're not super surprised by the way this whole thing ended.
It doesn't seem like it's the 5th time that this has happened.
She finds "thank you" and "good night" usually wraps it up like as fast as possible.
That was it.
Crosses all language barriers because I'm assuming this guy's probably had some racial occurrences. So like
probably not the first time.
Yeah. "Thank you" and "good night." Cross police officer, firefighter, immigrant, all people understand. Thank you and good night. I will
it
take
really
this.
was. J-Dub, it was like so desperate to be like, I just need this interaction to be over.
Thank you and good night.
That's all
Thank
we need.
you and
Thank you, good night. I'm like, all right, but he's dragging his heels on the street. Like,
yeah, you want to get his feet real quick, man. Lady?
You want to get him off of the corner of 14th and South? And
thank you.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, thank you, good night. I still think about that. Thank you, good night.
Yeah.
You're welcome, and good night to you as well.
Yeah.
Here's your
significant.
Here's your lump. Here's your lump of a dude.
So, well, speaking of knocking people out, you would then go from delivering pizzas and stuff to a private security mall cop job, right? What's going on here?
Yeah, that was pretty brief. I think that was one of my first jobs in Roxborough.
Yeah.
And it ended up, it sounded like a good gig. Like I met this guy Drew Goodman, his name was, and he sold it really well. He was Derek Jeter's personal security, and he had this big company or whatever. But I ended up being like a mall cop. Like it was literally just like my job was to stand by the front door, wear a suit, stand in the front door of like H&M, different stores downtown, and just like they're like, you're not allowed to do anything if someone steals anything. Just stand there and stare at them. Like, but if you see someone steal something, please don't touch them.
What?
Yeah, you're legally not allowed to do anything.
Well, that's the dumbest. So why don't people just steal all the time then?
They do.
A lot of people do. That's what people regularly do. Yeah.
Hashtag yup.
The secret's been slowly getting out over the internet, but yeah, that's why you see like mass people doing it now.
Yeah, but it
was like shut the fuck up.
You're ruining it for everyone.
You're blowing this.
Unless you steal more than $5,000 at a time, they can't do anything.
Wait, there were some people that $5,000 worth,
$5,300 and something dollars like that. It has to be. There's one deli in the city who marked all his items as $5,000, and then that the discount was given at the register so he could prosecute any shoplifters.
That's brilliant.
That is fucking genius. Awesome. All right.
And he was just getting rolled on. Like no one just decides to do that. He was like every fucking
so upset losing pop
coming in. Right. Just chips, just small bags of chips. Like
if someone takes one more fucking Hank's root beer, I'm gonna fucking slice him. So nice. All right. So let's keep it moving then. So then did you start Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at this time? Were you like doing that
somewhere
already?
Right in there? Yeah, right when we moved to Fairmount, I started going to Balance. Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah, I remember we went to Balance one time.
Yeah.
You took me there one time, and then would you start coaching wrestling then at this time also?
A little bit after, yeah.
How did that go? You had quite a good head coach at the wrestling gig. Was that right?
Yeah. So the first year I was the assistant varsity coach, and then our head coach left, and I remember interviewing for the head coaching job extensively, and then the athletic director came to me and said,
the regional manager.
Yeah, the athletic director comes to me and he said, "Hey, we passed you over for the job. We're gonna hire this guy. He is a world champion from Iran." I was like, "Fuck, dude." I was like,
"Well, yeah."
I was like pissed for a minute because I was like, no, I had plans. I already hired an assistant coach.
Really?
I had a lot of, but he came in at the 11th hour or whatever.
Who was the assistant coach?
His name was Dave Parkinson. He ended up being the head wrestling coach at Balance, and he was like a freestyle, nationally ranked freestyle, really good.
Oh, good for him.
He was from Valley West. He wrestled a couple years younger than me. Great too. He was over. He was actually at the party that night when Physique broke out.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
He was there at the birth of Physique.
Yeah, you've met him a few times. But
the bottom line is Physique was really out of his element that night. The more we talk about it, the more we realize Physique was very much out. My
buddy Chris was a brown belt who was besting with it. It was not good.
Yeah.
Shout out Romantic.
So anyway, I was bitter for a while. I was like, yeah. It's all right, I didn't get the job. I put in a lot of groundwork, these kids told me or whatever. I was still bitter, but then the day, first day I met Kazim, he just came up to me. Kazim Golami, Iranian dude. He was 6 years old. He's like, "Hey, Tim," and I was
what
I don't know.
He
this Kazim Golami.
Love it.
He was a bad motherfucker. Literally, the second I met him, I've never met someone so nice in my life. He totally disarmed me. I had a little bit of chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
And by the end of 5 minutes of meeting him, I was like, I love this dude.
And he's like, I'm gonna find you a wife, a nice Iranian girl. I get you a wife, goat, and tutor.
Every time I remember Sarah came to a couple of our meets, and he was like, "When are you gonna marry this girl?" I was like,
"Yo, yeah."
I was like, that's not even close to what's happening here.
Not this deal.
She might fit in with the Iranian crowd, but yeah, she would dude, wouldn't she actively try to get you into fights with people when you were out?
Yeah.
I can remember.
I had one of those.
He must have been incredible in bed.
Yeah. She was nuts.
One time,
but usually crazy girls are. Yeah, there's definitely a reason why she was around for a little while, but
sure.
One time at a pool hall.
Also a good reason she had to go.
Yeah. What was that, Justin?
I was say one time at a pool hall, an ex of mine kicked this dude's just playing pool, and she just fucking kicks his pool stick out of his hand onto the table, into the thing, and I was just
And now you're on. You're like,
Oh my
"No,
god! And like he like warns me, and I look at him like, yell at her. Like I don't give
I
a
had
shit.
nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
He like goes
Yeah.
around the table like 2 more turns and like says it again. I like stood up and I like aggressively used a homophobic slur. And I was with a bunch of kids who I worked with who happened to be African American. But unbeknownst to me, as I stood up, they all stood up.
Oh, very
And then
nice.
and I didn't know that. And like he looked at me like I was like, I didn't know that was gonna happen. I stand by what I said, but this isn't what's going to go down. Please continue with your pull mat, sir.
Yeah, I've been on both ends of that too, where I've been like, same thing. Like I remember actually playing pool, like, and I like was just like taking a shot and like bumped someone with my elbow or something. Like the girlfriend's like, that really hurt. That guy just hit me with his elbow. Like her boyfriend, I'm like, oh, it's like, I'm just like, I'm sorry, I'll buy you guys a drink, whatever. But like, you can just tell the girl is just like, I want to see my like boyfriend fight this guy tonight. Oh shit. Yeah. Sarah would do things like that. So, but Kazem Golami, hold on. I have a, did you read the article I sent you about Kazem Golami?
No.
This
You
guy's
sent me
a
an article?
legend. Yes, I did. But I'm going to read to you a little bit right now.
Hit
so
me.
from 1965 to 1974, Golami was one of Iran's most loved and respected athletes. After years of speaking out against the Shah's regime, however, he was banned by the Shah from wrestling. Golami, who dreamed of competing against America's wrestling icon, Dan Gable, who would later win the gold medal that year, was crushed, especially since he beat Olympic silver medalist and world champion Lloyd Geezer of the United States before the 1972 Olympic Games. Thankful, the eight-time national championship was able to compete in several national tournaments, including the Tbilisi in the nation of Georgia in 1973. Tbilisi is considered the most competitive tournament in the world because countries are allowed to enter more than one wrestler in each weight class. That's a little bit of his wrestling background.
So I can't believe they picked
champion.
that guy over you. Like what?
Yeah,
right.
Are
they thinking?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know this at the time, but I knew he was an Olympian. So for me, even to be like bitter was
and like super nice, best dude.
Ridiculous. I was like, but I paid my dues. I coached for a whole year as an assistant. But anyway, so he was a very outspoken
like political
critic of the government.
Guy?
Yeah. But so one more excerpt I'll read from Kazem's story.
it. Yeah, no, knock it out.
When Iranian wrestlers make the national team and perform well, they've traditionally been rewarded with government jobs and plots of lands. However, corruption seeps into every corner of society. Kazem repeatedly refused Secret Service jobs that required him to spy on the Iranian people. In 1971, the head of the Department of Physical Education and Sport in Mashhad, Kazem's home city, reallocated this wrestler promised land to the chief of police, the mayor, and a military leader, all to secure his own political position. Kazem entered the man's office with a handgun, demanding he give back the land to the people who needed it and deserved it most. The official fainted soon after, transferred to a new job in Tehran, which he secured with a summer home gift to the city's mayor.
What?
So
this guy.
So I'm not going to read anymore.
The Iranian Robin Hood.
So this guy was banned from Iran forever and told he would be killed. And then
he's gonna be banned from somewhere.
This was in 72. So in 1980, they established a new government, allowed him, he was living in England studying as a student. They allowed him to come back in 1980 when the new government was established. What does this guy do? He just goes in like his first speech back, everyone's like praising him, like, oh, Kazem's back, like this, our hero and all this. He's like, and he just shits on the entire government and gets banned from life by the new regime. Again, they were actually going to kill him in the middle of the night. And like some like high-ranking general like went to his mom's house and was like, he's got to leave tonight. And so now he could never go back. But after getting banned for once, I just love that he came back, just talked so much shit on the government.
Wow.
And got banned for life the second time.
Yeah, I've learned my lesson, and the lesson is still fuck you. Actually,
good.
Greatest guy ever. Last time I talked to him, because I worked for him for a while, I got fired from one of my delivery jobs, and I worked for his rug business. He hired me selling Oriental rugs with him.
I knew he's never out of business.
I remember I called him when I moved back to the Valley and I was applying for jobs. I was like, hey man, can I use you as a reference? He's like, oh yeah. He's like, I'm in I'm in Tunisia visiting my family, but I can't go to Iran because they'll kill me. But I have to go we all meet in Tunisia.
If you go right next door and hope everything works out.
But he's like, yeah, I got my phone. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna give me a call. I'll give you, he's in a different time zone or whatever. He's like, yeah, no problem. I'll tell him you're a good employee. I was like,
yeah.
Awesome. So,
man, dude, that's awesome. And did you learn a bunch of good stuff from him as far as wrestling?
A lot of good wrestling. Yeah. I still show a lot of stuff that he taught me. That he was very big on the Russian style wrestling. A lot of different ways of doing stuff. I used to go. So I was actually so mad, and I already hired my assistant coach for varsity. So I told Ryan, I was just like, you could still be the assistant varsity. I was like, I'll go like, I'll teach, I'll coach junior high.
Nice, man.
Because we needed like, the whole program needed an overhaul anyway. It was like, so.
Was it that bad? Did you have like full lineup and everything or no?
Just about, like as much as you could there, but it was pretty soft, you know.
I feel like it's crazy how like in the city wrestling, it's not a big deal at all, but outside
it's more
the
basketball,
city,
I guess.
Yeah, outside the city, it's massive, so massive.
But yeah, so I used to coach junior high, and then I would go wrestle at his practices. I would just stay, and just because there was one heavyweight that there was nobody like close to his weight, so he's just like, can you stay and wrestle? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So I would like stay for his whole practice. And
but you're walking around what at like 165, 170, you know?
Yeah, at that time probably.
Oh man. I mean, but they're still high school kids. I went to a high school practice, you know, like a month or so ago before like the postseason. I went to a high school practice. Me and Steve went at the old high school, and yeah, they're high school kids. There's a difference between kid strength and man strength, and it's very apparent, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right, let's keep it moving. So you were so after doing the rug sales, wrestling coach and stuff, you were a production assistant at the fabulous Philadelphia Spectrum.
Yeah.
What kind of shit were you running into there?
Yeah. So also, this was all at the same time. I've always had 2 or 3 jobs at once. Somehow, I never had a real job in my life, but I've always had 2 or 3 gigs at once.
Sounds great.
So these all overlap kind of, but actually, it was Jersey Joe, speak of the devil, that got me into working production at the Spectrum, which basically meant I would have a backstage pass, and basically what I would do is
Did you ever watch the shows?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was great. You got to sit, like, you ever see the people sitting on the side of the stage? Like,
yeah.
We got like full access. Like we were like backstage watching like all these awesome shows. Like I was like, you ever see Wayne's World where they have like the backstage passes? And they're just like, how far can I go with this? Like I would constantly, like I would go in like people's like dressing rooms and shit. Like depending on if the people working there didn't know where you're allowed to go, it's like, can I go through here? They're like, yeah.
Wow.
So Jersey Joe just randomly got me this gig, and it paid like, I think it was $160 a day, but you would literally work 7 a.m. till like 3 a.m. or whenever they all got out of there. And like all day, like you would do things like you would take their laundry to like, there was this fluff and fold down the street. You would just go and get them like, you would basically like stock their tour buses, like for shit that they need. So like
waters
they would always want cheesesteaks for the ride home because they were in Philly. They're like, well, we gotta get cheesesteaks.
Yeah. So that's,
you know, just stocking, basically like stocking their buses was like beer and potato chips and then just all kinds of random shit they would just like need done during the day. Like we would like put up signs on all the dressing rooms before they got there, show people where they're supposed to go, and basically we had to pick everybody up from their hotels when they would like slowly, like, you know, the crew would have to go there first, and then like the talent would come in throughout the day later. Like the opening band would come first, sound check. So you would like I just kept driving like a 12-person van back and forth like around the city,
shuttling. And how'd you like, I mean, did you ever run into anybody big, any crazy stories?
Yeah, you know, like my first one, we worked with Miley Cyrus and the Jonas Brothers were a crew. We did all the WWE events, so I met a ton of old wrestlers.
What did you
Ozzy
do?
Osbourne, Rob Zombie.
Was there something crazy that happened with Miley Cyrus? Didn't the guy have like a gimmick that he worked for Miley Cyrus?
So there was this guy, he was one of Jersey Joe's friends, and like I said, we used to take their laundry to the Fluff and Fold.
Yeah.
So Drew, his name is. I wish I knew his last name because I was saying.
I mean, all right. Well, all right. Like, if you don't care if his name's in there, I'll leave it.
Oh, he was such a scum, but he was friends with Joe, and I'll do the laundry today. I'll do the laundry. I was just like, okay, dude, you can do it. No one's fighting you. No one likes dropping off the laundry.
Yeah.
So later on in the day, he tells me, and I don't know for sure, but he somehow thought that was a good idea. He stole all of Miley Cyrus's underwear to sell them online.
What?
He had this, I don't know what kind of scumbag you have to be to think about, but he was like, you know, he was kind of like the same kind of guy. He was always hustling something like, same thing, the bootlegs, the jerseys, he's always selling something. He's always doing something illegal.
Looking I mean, the money's there, you know, like, I mean,
a double XL Eli Manning versus like Miley Cyrus's 17-year-old thong. There's probably a different statute is all I'm saying.
The shame is that there is a demand for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how much he made, but I didn't stay in touch with him about it.
It's a good idea.
I was like, I could believe that you would make that up, but I was also I believe that you're capable of doing that. So.
Nice. And how?
Good for you.
Nice.
I hope you make money.
How many? I mean, that's.
But this was
cool,
this was like a 15 or 16-year-old Miley Cyrus at that time. It's not now she's kind of gross and weird, and she had her whole thing. But this is the next year, after she left Disney.
Oh my god!
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. I'm pro Miley all day, every day. Yeah. Better take it back.
I hadn't even heard.
Man,
I haven't even heard
Bern
of her
coming in like a wrecking ball.
Wow. I just think she's a delightful weirdo.
I'll tell you this.
Yeah, but I don't think it would be as
Miley Cyrus.
I don't think it would be as shocking. Go ahead, Matt.
Well, I was saying Miley Cyrus covering the song Jolene. Check it out. Pretty fucking good.
Check it out. Ask my son which one he likes. I'm like, who listens to Jolene? I'm like, which one do you listen to? Dolly or Miley? And he's like,
tough choice.
And then we have a decision. To make. And he doesn't always make the same one. It's two different vibes.
He's got good taste in music already.
Yeah, your son's also a fucking genius, but the kind of genius that'll murder a bunch of people and get away with it.
Yeah. He'll be the guy who's like, this is why we need to make the oceans raise 4 feet.
You know what?
Sure.
Yeah. He's gonna be like, you know how the mob, they have their regular Joe Schmo hitman that's like, oh, hey, Luca Brasi, blah, blah, blah. But then when it's really something bad, they call their serious hitman, who's Ben Affleck,
the old quiet guy.
Like Ben Affleck in The Accountant. That's your son. Yeah. He's unsuspecting. No one would
fan
ever
of the
guess.
Show. Yeah. Listener of the show.
Oh, he's been on the show. Former guest.
Former.
He came and told us the capital of Pennsylvania. I mean,
he sure did. He knows no other capitals, by the way, too. I've been asking him since then. It's I don't know. Okay, man,
who gives really showed gold jacket, green jacket,
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah, so, you might want to look into it, man. It's kind of your shtick.
Nice. So let's keep it moving then. And then after you got done working the spectrum, you then you played bass in a couple different bands. Is that right? What was going on here? Slap it a bassman. A slap it a bassman. Yeah, you never heard that before. Slap it a bassman.
Yeah, I play a little bass. A couple bands, a jam band with my buddy Matt Flanagan. Got me into this jam band with a bunch of his friends. And
did you not know how much you needed the funk until you had the funk? Is that kind of?
I was always been well aware of how much funk he needs on a day-to-day basis, and the answer is lots of it.
Well, I mean, there's no such thing as excess funk.
Biff Sweater has never shied away from the funk.
Kind of came out of nowhere though. I was actually just moving into my house, and I was getting the floors redone, and the flooring installer was like, "Oh, you play bass, man?" He's like, "Come play with us." And I was like, "All right." And
is that a bass behind you?
Yeah. I'll slap it for you.
Whoa, slap it up, bass man.
But it just turned into jamming with a couple people, and then everybody always needs a bass player,
Yeah. Sure.
So I got roped into jam with people, and then it turned into another. This band turned into another band, until another band, and we started playing.
Remember any of the names?
Our first name was in Philly. The band was called
Mouse Rat.
The Catfish Nuggets.
The Catfish.
That wasn't me.
Nuggets.
Catfish Nuggets. Yeah, it was good.
There was that. There was, and then we were called Mountain Ride briefly until we found out there was another band with the same name. And then we were Cluster Funk.
Love Cluster Funk.
Someone decided, and
love it.
We couldn't think of a better name in time, so we toured. Ended up playing locally and then touring around regionally, and had a lot of fun.
Nice, man. That's fun. You got a little slap of the bass in. Nice.
And then, just to be fair too, though, the first instrument I ever saw Timmy play was guitar for most of the time I knew him early on. And then we also had a full drum kit in our house when we lived together. So Timmy, while playing bass in some of these bands, is a master of multiple instruments.
I wouldn't say a master, but it's always easiest to get a job playing bass.
Yeah, so that's a sweet spot.
That's kind of where I got. There was a joke, and there was a guy. He went to his first bass lesson. He gets home. His mom's like, "What'd you learn today?" He's like, "I learned how to play 4 A's in a row." He's like, "Oh, that's good." And then goes to the second lesson. She's like, "What'd you learn today?" He's like, "I learned how to play 4 D's in a row." "Oh, that's good." And so next week she's like, "What'd you learn you're baseless and ace. Like, oh, I couldn't make it. I had a gig. So it's like, even if you're like, you're really like, nobody wants to play. It's like, it's a challenging instrument, but everyone, wants to be a drummer or a guitar player first. And
no, I've always
right, but everyone needs you need it.
Yeah.
You need your backbone.
I always liked the way the bass fucking twanged, like a little Johnny Cash fucking twang on the bass. Boom, 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 boom. Like fucking twang it, baby.
Yeah, it was still fun. It was still fun to play. Absolutely.
I mean, you slap at a bass. What are you gonna do? You gotta slap at a bass.
But now I played bass more than anything at this point. So
nice, cool.
Yeah.
You still jamming, man? Huh?
Not much. No, not as much. No.
No. Nice. So okay, so you're next then after doing the musician, you became, and you still kind of do it now, but more in a managerial sense, but you did like the handyman gimmick that also worked into the landlord. Is that right? Yeah.
So like 2010 I moved back to the Valley, I think, and I kind of actually put together a plan for first time, like you still there, buddy?
I'm still here. Keep going. Sorry.
No, sorry. Okay.
I just had to turn on my camera. Go ahead.
No problem. I don't know. I want to know.
Sorry to interrupt. Where's the Valley? I heard you say it the first
Wyoming,
2 times.
The illustrious Wyoming Valley.
I was like, was I not paying attention? Did he
Valley.
move to California at some point?
Nope.
No. So take 476, 100 miles north, and you're there.
Okay.
Pinned you there. Hey, jdub, FYI, next week we have a round table about their town. Just letting you know.
I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah, the Wyoming
interesting
Valley.
Facts.
It legit is a valley.
The state of Wyoming is named after the Wyoming Valley. Like they came from there and we're like, all right, yeah, we like this, but let's call it Wyoming.
Shut the front door.
That's true.
It's true.
I used to go to some shitty bar and there'd be some 65-year-old drunk dude, and I never talked to him, but all he would used to say, like hammered at like 110 as he stumbled out, was that Wyoming's bullshit. It's not real. You've never met anyone from there.
Like Wyoming.
That could also be true.
Like birds aren't real. Like Wyoming's not real. I was like, I don't know who the fuck that guy is, but like, I don't know anyone from Wyoming.
City in Wyoming, Cheyenne.
I've never been there.
He's like, there's not even an airport.
Cheyenne.
Is Cheyenne the biggest city in Wyoming?
I think it's the capital. I would just assume it's the biggest.
Well, ask your son. He'd know.
Yeah. Let me wake him up.
I will slit a motherfucker's throat. They wake up my kid after bedtime. I will kill someone. I will
anyone
fucking kill you.
Who wakes up a child under the age of 11 is a month.
You're a fucking
and it
whore
should never be done.
Slut and a cunt.
Should never be done.
Fucking kill you.
I will any children.
If you ever wake up a child,
I can't relate.
Nap time or bedtime.
Miley Cyrus's underwear. I don't want to wake up any children.
Nope.
I think you're on the fence about Cyrus's underwear, but I'll let you slide. All right. So then give us a little rundown there, Biff Sweater. What is a day in the life like for the landlord? Biff Sweater, slap at a bass.
It's pretty much you wake up whenever you want, as long as you don't have any messages from tenants that they have a leak or a problem or a power outage.
The shitter. Hey, Biff, we clogged the shitter again. That's happened.
Knock on wood, that hasn't happened. That specific call hasn't happened.
Shit. Well, all right. Well, it's gonna happen tomorrow. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
Tomorrow for sure.
Tomorrow.
Thanks for that.
Remember when that elephantitis priest died after we mentioned him?
But it's mostly just people telling you why they're late with their rent, and they always wreck their car. Or
what happens if someone like how long do you give them before you go over and start breaking legs if they're late on rent?
Well, they get 5 days, and then it's $10 a day if they're late after that. So that's
what if they can't pay that? Like, what if they're like, you just go over and just take all their shit and start throwing it out?
No, you just have to go to court. I haven't, knock on wood too. I've never had to.
How many tenants have you stabbed?
Now tomorrow you're gonna have to do both.
Yeah.
With your bare hand.
Damn it, TC. I'm sorry. I just jinxed you. You're gonna have to fucking clean out a clogged shitter and stab a tenant tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's all mine.
Murder a tenant.
I mostly there's a lot of demand for apartments. So I forget one of the last times I listed one of my units, I got like 1,500 applicants and just whittled it down, and I always get great people, knock on wood. I've been lucky, but
how many
there's such a demand.
Do you have?
3 buildings now.
How many apartments in each building?
2 are duplexes, one's a 3. So 7 apartments only.
Wow, dude, fuck yeah. And they're responsible for payment of all utilities. You just got to make sure the shit's running.
For the most part, yeah. There's one building that they're all, the 3 unit, they're all together. So
what
I have to pay them, but
what's the deal? Like, do you have to do, like, is there paperwork you have to put in every year? And like, what's the deal? Like all of that? Like I know you got to manage the upkeep, but like what else is going down?
Yeah. So I got lucky. So when I got into construction, that was always my plan, was getting into construction. I just wanted to buy properties and flip them and rehab them. Like I wanted to basically do everything for myself eventually, but for 10 years, I just did remodeling for random homeowners or whatever. And then I met this guy who was a huge landlord around here. He has, 150 units or something. And so I was managing them for years for him. And then at one point I was just like, hey, I want to do this like on my own. Like, can you help me out? He's like, yeah, I'll help you with everything. He's like, any lease you need, any paperwork, anything. So he like literally just took me under his wing and was just like, here's how you do this. Here's everything that I fucked up when I started. Bro, here's all the money I wasted. So like I got like a good mentor in that. And
dude, you couldn't pay for a fucking better thing than that. Oh my God. Yeah. Dude, that's more valuable than any fucking college education you could find. I don't care where the fuck you go. That's seriously fucking awesome.
Seriously, yeah. Like all the college I've gone to, like it's like the best degree I have. I took after grad school, everything. I went to like a tech school around here for electrical. Okay. And it was like a 6-month course or whatever. It was like $500 or $600 or something. And I made more money off that than any of my degrees. I'm still paying like all this fucking student debt. Like, Jesus, what a waste.
Yeah.
That fucking racket was.
Yeah. I've never went to college.
Still is. Don't worry, Tim. It's still the worst.
Yeah, it's still the worst. Nice. And then, all right, well, that's awesome, dude. Landlording sounds like once you got your shit together, sounds like you're doing fucking like, like you wake up and just check your phone, and if you're good, then you're good. But you're legit though. You are legit on call 24/7 though, right? Like
technically, yeah. And I still manage. So I still I don't advertise too much about like the construction aspect or remodeling, but like I do have most of my clients in that are like investors now. So I still like have their shit too. Like I'm the guy that they call, like, cause they don't get their hands dirty or anything. Like the guys that are more established with like rentals and stuff like that. Like they just call me. So I have to like not only deal with my shit, but have to take care of their shit sometimes.
So you're still swinging a hammer every once in a while.
Yeah, like, but I'm not like on call with them. Like it's like they have like their maintenance guy or whatever. Like
right.
So like something like off hours or something happens, but then the next day, like I go and like check it out or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like if something ambitious has to get done, they're probably calling you to be like, hey, we want to pull this kitchen. You know?
Yeah. Like if a tenant, usually it's when a tenant moves out and like leaves. I've seen some horror stories.
We've been there.
Ooh, baby. Yeah. Some people are not getting their deposit back. Oh, baby.
Someday I'm gonna get paid back for what we did in Roxborough.
Did you guys ever get a deposit back?
Are you out of your fucking mind?
Roxborough, like I remember when we moved out of Roxborough, it was like July, and like we were like loading the U-Haul, and it just smelled like mouse piss, and like I was like, this is the last day we could have lived here. I was like, this house is so disgusting.
Yeah.
So, let me throw it out there too. David Peltzman was the landlord of. We had
400 something Martin Street.
I had a really weird thing. It was 480 Martin Street.
480.
And then when it was like, so we lived in Narberth, then Roxborough, and then Fairmount. So 731 is always going to go down in history. That was an amazing spot. In the mid-2000s. Yeah, Physique. I mean, Physique was born. Yeah. But I lived at 840 Rear when I was in Narberth, and then we moved to 480 Martin.
Ooh.
And it was, you think it's good. It's not. Your whole mind just plays games with numbers. You're like, I don't remember. Yeah.
Narberth was the worst. I remember coming to visit you guys at Narberth, and you guys lived above this pizza
Bacardi
place.
Gold, though. Yeah, it burned down. It
was so hot up there. I think the exhaust from the pizza oven just went straight up into that apartment. Yeah. I remember being there in the summer for like 15 minutes, and you guys were all in your boxer shorts, and I came down. It wasn't even that hot outside. I had like jeans on and shit, and I like sat there for like 15 minutes. I was like, did I take my pants off too? This is so hot in here. Like I can't stop sweating. So I remember like having to sit there in my underwear with you guys and be like, where do you guys go from here?
There's 2 pizza ovens downstairs, and it's cheap here. So it's not pleasant. Now in the winter, we didn't have to turn the heat off.
It also wasn't that cheap though, I remember.
No.
Comparatively.
Oh no, the whole thing was
It was a total scam.
Grecian Welsh. Suck it till the day. No, not Grecian Welsh. Saul Barsh. Suck
The
it
deal,
till the day.
the deal of a lifetime was Fairmount for sure.
Yeah.
I know. We had a chance to buy that place, and we didn't.
I know. Four bedrooms, 4-car off-street parking.
Yeah.
And it was like, what was it, like a
In-house washer and dryer.
1140 or 13.
It was less than $400 a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
I love too, like how the rooms were set up, where it's like you walk in, it's a split level. You can go downstairs to like the basement living room. Then you go up. There's like the first landing, right? That's where like the bathroom.
3 bedrooms and a bathroom.
Yeah, and then you go up. There's the next landing, right?
Yeah, there's the extra bedroom.
1 room, and then you go downstairs, and there's a living room, a kitchen, a bar, and
Yeah.
In Maniac?
No, this was in Fairmount.
This is in Fairmount.
20th in Fairmount.
20th in Fairmount.
I had a house like that in Maniac. So when you came in, you could go downstairs and then you could go up, and it was all layers. It was like 9 floors, But the downstairs, there was no door. It was all tile. We turned it into an indoor basketball court with like a mini hoop.
Love it.
Nice.
And that was my favorite. I literally would go down there and just shoot around all day, like an indoor court. Like, I mean, because the ceilings were like 15 feet down there, and it was just a big basement.
So you could actually get them up.
Oh, so our one roommate, we were in the email chain. He was like, a little more a guy who used email, if you will. Yeah. And he's like, when are we getting our deposit? Like expecting part of the $2,000 back. And the one kid just replied to it with the bill, and it was, not only are we not getting $2,000, the landlord wants $8,000.
Yeah. Well, you're actually minus $2,350.
In fact, all of you owe another month's rent on your own for living here.
Yeah. Nice. So, okay, we're coming close to the top of time. Before we get out of here, I do want to talk a little about some BJJ. So what do you got going with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu TC? How you living it now? What's your belt? What's things doing?
Finally just got my purple belt. I was
all right. Good job, man. Dude, you guys, I know we had Omar on the show recently, but getting your purple belt's a big fucking deal, man. Congratulations, brother. Great job.
Thank
dude.
you. Yeah, so
Next
I got
steps to brown, baby.
Yeah, I got my blue belt in 2007 at Balance, and then when I came back, I just trained at this MMA gym that didn't believe in belts. I had there was Jimmy Hedis, the UFC fighter, was like the head jiu-jitsu coach, amazing judo guy, amazing. Yeah. But they just didn't give a shit. I remember the first time I came there for jiu-jitsu class. It was like a noon jiu-jitsu class, and I was like, I live right across the street, so I'm like, I'll go check this out. So the first thing we did was, remember like King of the Mat, like wrestling takedowns.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Like you do a takedown, you stay, and I was like, this I could do. Like, I don't know. I'm all right. I'm a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, but wrestling, so we go through the whole class, probably 15 minutes of wrestling, like King of the Mat. I hadn't done anything in a while. So I go through 6 or 7 guys, and I just run to the bathroom to puke.
Yeah.
And I come out from vomiting, and everyone's just lacing up MMA gloves and shin pads. I'm like, jiu-jitsu class. So I remember they just threw me a pair of pink MMA gloves. And just rotate in. I was like,
yeah, okay, sure. Yeah.
With the UFC guy and the 4 other. So I remember just
then you turned it went from King of the Mat to shark bait real fucking quick.
Yeah. But I don't know. Everybody was there. It was pretty
nice. And then
how it is when you spar. Everybody kind of goes to your level.
If you
as
follow,
long as you're not an asshole.
Exactly. If you follow the rule, the rule is go you get what you give. So if you go at the pace you expect to get back, right? If you go out there fucking throwing heat and trying to fucking rip heads, you're gonna get that same shit back. And don't bitch when you do. If you cheap shot, expect to get cheap shotted back. Yeah. All that's fucking gonna happen. You know what I mean?
I was not throwing haymakers.
If you just go out there just trying to fucking work, fucking people work back with you. But if you go out there trying to be a dick, you're gonna get your fucking shit pushed in. I'll tell you that right.
I do remember. I didn't really know. I watched UFC. I did some boxing and some jiu-jitsu and wrestling, obviously. But I never did kickboxing or whatever. But I watched UFC. So I remember we were doing sparring, and I just started throwing leg kicks the one day. Mm-hmm. And I never was really leg kicks. So I didn't realize how much it hurt. And I remember this guy just beating the shit at me. I leg kicked him 3 times, and he's just throwing overhand right every time I leg kick. Yo, man, we're just
we're just chilling out here, bud.
I thought I was being cool. I was like, I just kicked you in the leg. I'm not.
Yo, a nice leg kick to the inside of someone's fucking right above the knee kind of area. Hi-ya! that's a fucking killer. That'll fucking stop you in your tracks, or a nice shin kick, something like that. But yeah, nice, man.
Absolutely.
Well, glad to hear you got the new belt and you're kicking ass and you're doing all that, brother. That's great, man.
Thanks,
Congratulations. Man. Yeah, no, of course.
Thank you.
So we're coming to the top of time. TC, I'll tell you.
Wait, remember when Tim won a jiu-jitsu tournament with a broken neck?
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Just circle in real quick.
So how did that go?
So yeah,
Broken freaking neck.
I was pretty recovered. I broke it at jiu-jitsu. I literally I have no idea, but
how fucking painful was it?
I was fucked up for like 2 years, like literally like.
So wait, you broke your neck and you're like, well, I already signed up for this tournament. Man, might as well.
No, it was.
I paid the $35 entry fee.
Yeah, you're not just gonna throw that away.
So how'd it go?
It was probably like 6 to 8 months after I broke my neck, actually. But
your neck would.
But I never really.
It's still not advised that you do a jiu-jitsu tournament while healing, and
so I never had surgery on it or anything. Like it was kind of just.
Listen to how
let your
Timmy's
neck heal naturally.
Tiptoe through the tulips about how when his neck was broken and when he then decided to try jiu-jitsu again.
Bro, did you get a
Well,
haircut?
it's me.
Yeah,
Got them all cut, man.
looks great.
got the old
Just
ears
now.
lowered.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt, but I just saw your sides and you're looking fucking tight. So okay. So yeah,
Gary, Cornerstone Barbershop.
TC, dude, that fade is great. Did you go skin on the side, or you just go one?
I did.
Oh wow.
No, I
Skin all the way up. Did he do a drop fade too? Does he drop it in the back?
I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, whatever he does, it's a masterpiece. It's an absolute masterpiece. So either way, sorry I interrupted. I was taken aback by Bern's beautiful hair. But nice. TC, you got a broken freaking neck. You're letting it heal naturally because that's what you do. And you're still training and stuff.
So I've never had a real job, as I've explained to you before. So I find this is the first time I've had health insurance since I was under my mom's health insurance. So finally 15 years later or so.
Yeah.
So I went to a few clinics, but they're probably all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't lift anything heavy or anything, but I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe don't do
make sure your neck never has any trauma again, but
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
So then
but I did a lot of physical therapy and
so wait, so then you have this fucked up neck and you go into the tournament and you win?
Yeah.
Wow. And did anyone try to do a guillotine or a rear naked choke or anything?
No, I mostly so that was like a points tournament.
Okay.
Yeah, that was in gi, but so points tournaments, so there's submission only tournaments and there's points tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
So points you could really use your wrestling to your advantage. So I was able to just hit takedowns and
then fucking ride him out and give him the business. Nice.
Yeah. So I basically,
was
able to protect it.
Showed him what fucking business is. Nice, dude.
Yeah. Hit a couple throws. Didn't shoot in with my head first or anything. And
love it.
Yeah. But just just for
squeaked it out.
Yeah. Just for reference, Biff, you were how old when you won your broken neck jiu-jitsu tournament?
My 30s at some point. Probably.
Yeah. Let's say maybe mid
to late 30s.
Mid to
35.
Maybe a 6. Yeah, maybe a 5, maybe a 6. The point is you weren't just some young 21.
You weren't no spring chicken.
You were no, I'm still competing as an adult.
Yeah.
And, no, I'm doing Nile Worlds the end of this month too.
Wait, really?
Are you really?
Oh shit. Dude, that's great, man.
We'll see.
Congrats, man. Fuck yeah. Hopefully we'll get an update soon and then we can tell everybody how you won 2 tournaments with a broken neck. Nice. So all right.
Hopefully.
So we're coming to the top of time. Right. Tim, I'll tell you, man, this was fucking great. I know we're gonna have you back on the show next week for the roundtable.
Absolutely.
And I know Justin, you and Bern we're all usually on the same page with this, but we would love to have you back on as a guest if you'd be willing.
Anytime, brother.
Dude, love it, man. Fucking love you, bro. This is great. So we're coming to the top of time. Before we get out of here, Biff Sweater, anything you want to say to the Biff Sweater faithful before we take off?
I'm all good, man.
Yeah, damn right you are.
I'll see you next week.
Oh, hell yeah, baby. We're gonna have a big one next week. And so Benoit say, did it get all that or did it cut out?
No, it cut out for a minute when you were hitting that angel.
There's literally there's a dog. I hear a dog barking next door. Was that on here?
Yeah.
I don't know whose it is, but I hear a dog barking.
It's my dog. My dog in the back room is barking now.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Benoit, anything you want to say to the Podcasy faithful before we get out of here?
No, man. Just thanks for Biff Sweezy coming on tonight, giving a little culture.
Yes.
And I'll see you next week, and also tomorrow.
Yeah, very nice.
Or maybe not.
Yeah. Or
Who knows?
Maybe the world will end.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We'll all be dead.
If the world ends, we still shoot. We don't miss. All right.
Yeah.
Even if the world ends, we still record. All right.
I'll record
the fact that my stupid kids were so good tonight, really like the average wise.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow we do start an hour later, so hopefully they'll be.
Yeah.
Also, I'll tell you this, Bern. We initially had planned to film tomorrow's episode at our HR department, 608 Garfield Avenue, live. I'd set it up because Brandon's in town, and I wanted to do a live at HR with.
I'm pro
Brandon.
that.
Right. Well, I can't, but I wanted to. And you were the second to last piece of the puzzle, but I had to clear it with my secretary and our schedule just didn't line up.
And the puzzle just never made it to me.
No, you were one fucking step away.
Hey, Batman on HBO Max next Friday. If you haven't seen it in the theaters,
April 19th.
What?
April
the Robert Pattinson Batman?
Yeah.
My Chemical Romance.
Friday, next Friday. Dropping.
Oh, I can't fucking wait.
I haven't
seen it. I fucking so want to.
And then Gallagher has been sending me better bootlegs. Like every time he finds a better bootleg, he sends me a better bootleg. I think I've seen this movie 13 times.
That fucking good.
I'm still in. Way in.
Wow.
This is good.
I'm still finding things that I enjoy.
Love it.
But yeah, a week from Friday on the HBO Max.
On the Max. Do you know why they call it HBO Max?
Because it's combined with Cinemax.
HBO and Cinemax. Yeah, it's combined. I had no idea. Tom told me that. I had no idea.
Good for Cinemax. As far as listen, I know Jason has a literal redheaded stepbrother, but like the way I usually use the redheaded stepbrother joke would be almost perfectly HBO to Cinemax.
Yeah.
Like it's almost a perfect comparison.
Yeah, Justin's HBO and Brad.
I was gonna say, did you just call me Jason? I was like, my name's Justin, and that's my only real brother.
No. What I was saying was like, I get the denomination. You know what I mean? Of like, all right, we finally have it. We're ready to go. We're gonna lay it down, and now it's time.
You fucking called him Jason. All right.
I may have.
All right. It's whatever. Dude, last week we had.
I feel terrible.
It's all right. Okay. I'll cut it. But last week we had
leave it in. Leave it in. We'll figure it out tomorrow.
My grandmother calls me Jason. It's okay.
We had Lightning on the show last week, and he kept calling Steve N-Dub, and I was like, I think Steve likes that better than fucking Steve. Tell you the truth.
Well, I'd like to. Not that I don't love him and respect him, but I'd like to keep a slightly higher.
I'd like Bern and Nick Lightning have the same
quality assurance than Nick, if I can.
Yeah. Well, shout out.
I don't know, man. People are yelling downstairs. I'm just trying to fucking get out of here.
All right. Well,
I love you guys.
J-Dub, anything you want to say?
Bro, it's top of time. Just check out my physique and I'll see you next week.
Very good. Well, this is
Yeah,
another
Mozambique.
episode of the
Ooh,
Work
Ooh,
Perspectives
physique rhymes with
podcast.
Mozambique.
Anybody want a
Here we
peanut?
go.
Physique, Mozambique, Fezzik. This has been another episode of the Work Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied today by jdub, Justin Richardson, the Bad Boy Bern Podcasy, and Tim Biff Sweater Casey. You can find all our stuff and all our content on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can hang out with us on Instagram at Working P Pod, and you can hang out on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast, and join us on the Twitter and the TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com. Please like and subscribe so my wife doesn't leave me. This has been another episode of the Work Perspectives Podcast. Thanks for listening. Stick around for the ad read. Check out my physique. Do you have a message or a story inside of you that you've been waiting to tell? Have you always dreamed of writing a book but are intimidated by the complexities of the book publishing world? Perhaps you want to use a book to launch your public speaking or consulting career. If so, please reach out to Scott and Bell Publishing, located right here in beautiful Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Scott and Bell Publishing handle all genres and authors with all experience levels. Scott & Bell Publishing gives authors 100% creative freedom and a higher royalty split. They can be found at www.skotbell.com. That's www.s as in Sam, K as in Kite, O as in October, T as in Tom, B as in Boy, E as in Edward, L as in Larry, L as in Larry.com. That's Scott and Bell Publishing, where the authors go.